No. Alrighty, we are live on good old Facebook. This is episode 31 of the world of Skell-Ghosts. To all of you out there, all one of you, welcome. And a quick recap of last session. The group was given some ideas about where they might want to go next, having expressed an interest in attempting to stop other slave lords. And in that attempt, they felt like they might need additional members or assistance or backup, so they found Kettle Tom, and he was talking with the abbot, and they asked him to join, and he said that he would be welcome, he would be happy to join for in the rooting out of the slave lords, at least for a little while. And some of the group decided that they would like to have horses. So they asked around and found out that there is a horseman by the name of Spiff, about a half a day's walk outside of town, or less than that, and were given directions, and they headed off. That would be Shadrach, COVID, and Reginald. Pick, being played by Randy, was not present, so Pick remained at the abbey, at the monastery.
Scratching your car.
So along the way east, they were told they would have to go through a forest trail before their land would be cleared again for the horse farm and other settlements. And along the way, they were attacked or ambushed by these shaggy, gray-furred humanoids with stone weapons. And the fight was somewhat brief. They were not able to stand up to the martial prowess of COVID the Acariman, and they were dispatched along with some help from Shadrach and Reginald. And the area was given a cursory exploration or investigation to see if anything else was around. There was a mound that seemed suspicious, but they chose not to press their luck and just continued on the route. And upon seeing the aforementioned horse farm, they approached and were met with suspicion by the people of the farm. There were weapons trained on them, and they were given a cold reception through the door, and then they had to explain why they were there and who sent them. But eventually they were able to come to an agreement and started to inspect the horses that Spiff, the the head of the farm, the owner of the farm, and they purchased a horse each. They were given all of the explanation in detail by Spiff about what each horse, what it was used for, and what its talents were. There were horses that were trained for war, and then there were riding horses. There was even mules. And even though it was not said during the game, the DM would like to add in that it's probably not that the players weren't told, but that it's, I always assume, and sometimes I assume incorrectly, that the players know what I know about any given situation. A lot of time spent on horse, you spend almost as much time just walking the horse if you want it to carry things. If you don't want the horse to get bogged down, then you get a wagon or a cart, or you get a mule and a cart. You just don't try to overload the horse. That's just the way horses are. So they were trying to figure out what they could get that would carry whatever for a certain price, and et cetera, et cetera. So there was smoke that was purchased by Reginald. There was Streff that was purchased by Shadrach, and Eclipse that was purchased by COVID. And they made their way after that, and Spiff and his people seemed to warm up to them a little bit as they kept on negotiating and listening to him talk about horses. And Spiff seemed to be the kind of guy that would be willing to talk about horses all day long if he was allowed to. So after they purchased the horses, Spiff offered them a sack of bread and cheese for being good clients. They accepted, and then they made their way back towards the monastery because they're waiting on Pick to get his armor, which was going to be in a couple days, and then they were going to leave. There was something else. There was a reason why they wanted to get back, and I'm not sure what it was.
We got to buy the saddles and stuff too.
Yeah. So, on their way back, they saw, Shadrach wants to interrupt.
Making necklaces for me.
That was in there somewhere. Did you ask? Did you? You did that in the morning. You weren't there at the talking to Kettle Tom. So,
No.
At that time, Shadrach had talked to the librarian and was asking about getting a copy of a map of the coast to the north. So, as they returned, they saw smoke coming from inside the walls of the abbey, and the fire could have been much worse than it was, but with the quick action of the townsfolk forming a water line and Shadrach casting a spell which put forth water above the burning area, the fire was extinguished to minimal damage, and did not appear to be any foul play or anything. The blacksmith admitted that he slipped and knocked over some coals onto the floor, which started the fire. So he was embarrassed but grateful that people stepped up to help. Of course, these people knew that if the fire would spread, all these connected merchant and market areas would have gone up. So it could have been bad. And that is basically where we stopped last week. So, unless someone has an edit or anything, and COVID has his hand up.
Not for an edit, just the next thing.
Okay. Oh, okay. So, the time of day is pretty much time for the dinner time. And so you all have the rest of the day to do with whatever it is you want, and COVID, you can go first.
We're going back to the guy that's got the saddles and purchase the necessary equipment to ride the horse.
So he said for 2 horses, he had enough for 2.
Yeah, everything.
But one
But
saddle.
one blanket.
Or a blanket.
Missing a blanket.
Okay, so
But he has everything else for 2 horses.
if you want to purchase that, it'll be both.
I mean, he may have more stuff. I don't know. We were only talking about 2 horses. We didn't say anything about a third, so I don't know what else
No.
he got. But we know he's only
Yeah.
got 1 blanket.
Yeah, he had everything but a saddle blanket for 2 horses. And that would just be book price. If you want me to look that up, I can.
I can take care of it.
Okay. All right. So after you purchase that stuff, anything from anybody?
I guess, can I buy a stack of grain for the horse too? It's probably hungry, walking all the way back.
If you want to.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Shadrach.
I was just going to say, without taking up game time, I'm going to casually gather common components for my spells from like the areas that we're in, like I said, like a tuft of fur from a cow, especially a bull, stuff like that. Little bits of feathers, little bits of fruit, stuff like that. Stuff I always use. I'm just looking to pick stuff like that up.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, so I guess we'll move ahead to nighttime. Anything special you guys want to do the rest of the day?
Well, I want us to all get together and talk about the future.
Well, you're all together now, and you guys still have some tents set up. Those of you that wish to sleep there. So you're on the eastern side of the temple. Go ahead, Shadrach.
All right. I take it we're going back to Tila. That's a given. I think that's a good thing. I've been having a lot of ideas and crazy dreams, and it's been kind of guiding me towards what I think would be a good overall plan that we should use to deal with the slavers instead of just like doing what we always do and roam in and start smashing stuff. Instead, we should roam in and smash stuff on a kind of like a plan. And I'm looking at this.
Hold on, Shadrach. Shadrach, hold on. Are you wanting to interrupt?
Yes.
Okay, COVID's going to interrupt, Shadrach. Go ahead.
Shadrach, I thought we had discussed we're going north from here. That was the information we got on the next slavers. I thought we weren't going back to Tila after all. That's why he picked up his arm repaired here, and we're going north to the next clue. That's what I thought we were doing.
That's correct.
So okay. Well, I thought we were going to go to Tila.
What happens when you
But
drink?
that being said, my idea was if we had gone to Tila, that there are people there who could probably give us some insight as to the workings of the slavers themselves, which I think would be valuable to what we're going to do. I myself would like to talk to these people, and especially with regards to the man. And Pick, you have friends too that I think could be helpful and give us some information. But if we are going north, then we will. I'm having the maps prepared, and I'm ready for whatever. But I also, like I said, I thought that maybe we could get some insight because my idea was, I'll just lay it out.
Well, since we're not going to Tila, why don't you save us some breath?
All right. We need to infiltrate these people. We need to get in amongst them. Get in as deep into them as we can, and then just blow them out. That's my idea. Don't go in blazing balls. Don't play it low. Play ourselves low. Don't go flashy. Make it look like we're just bums, and see what happens.
I agree. Maybe even make it look like they want to buy some slaves. Like, hey, we need
That's
some
why I was
servants
thinking
for our
we
new
could,
dinner.
that was why I was thinking about Tila was that we would be able to talk to people there who had experience with that. I have zero experience in purchasing slave. Covidius, you've been in those situations, and I'm not saying that in a derogatory way.
I understand what you're saying. I understand.
So you will have probably the most knowledge of this. I would like for you to instruct me, if you could, in things to say and things not to say. Because I want to be involved, and like I said, I think we should infiltrate these people as deep as we can get before they realize they've swallowed a turnip seed. And by that time, we're already going to be going out the other end, and they're going to be in trouble. But, like I said, we have to get there and see what the situation is, and see how the slaves are set up. I mean, have you ever been to a slave pit?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Yes, I've been a slave for a long time.
I mean, you were a slave for a long time. In your estimation, what was the most powerful slave you ever saw held by the slave?
Me?
And how could they hold you like that? Did they have something that they threatened you with, or were their chains that strong?
I earned their respect. They treated me well. I had pretty much my way if I wanted to go somewhere to do something within the surroundings. I wasn't chained at the ankle. They understood. I got what I needed and what I wanted to survive as long as I did their bidding, which was win and fight, and I did that well. Yeah.
So I'm talking about the average slave. Okay, well, I understand now. If, say that you were still a slave and that a group of people like us showed up, what would you do? Would you join us, or would you fight us?
It depends. I mean,
Depends on what?
When we were freed, the slavers were overrun and ran from the from the armies that I ended up joining. But I mean, I didn't join them at that instant. I mean, it was very hectic. There was no one. They were fleeing for their lives, and they left us behind. So I mean, I didn't. It's not like I had my own room or my own building, and I could go in and out as I pleased. I was still. I mean, there were still barred walls that I had to stay in, but I could do what I wanted because they treated me well because I made them a lot of money. We didn't know what was happening when it happened until it was over, and Rise and some of his other men showed up to free us and told us what was going on, and I was all too happy but to be freed. And it wasn't for some time until I had made it back to their homeland, and then I decided that I wanted to join them for what they did. I seen the light in their actions, and I wanted to join them and continue that, and that's what I did. I mean, there's most of the time. I mean, if there's an uprising in the slaves, I mean, they have a lot of guards usually. The slaves may be good with weapons, but they don't have any if they're not in battle, and they could easily be cut down if the slave master so chose to have it or ordered it.
All right. Then here's my question. Again, in your estimation from what you experienced and saw, what would be the most vital point that we could strike that would cause the most disruption to what they're doing?
Well, I don't know what size force they have. I mean, we don't know their setup or their plan. Without knowing that, I can't guess.
That's all right. Where would you, if you could pick a spot in the slavers' organization to strike?
Cut the head off the snake.
Where?
Cut the head off the snake. The guy running, whoever's running it, you got to go straight for him and kill him immediately, and then kill any of his lieutenants that's on their way down, because a lot of them. Their men rely on orders, and if there's no one giving orders, then you have confusion, and then you could have a revolt of the slaves. But you got to get those cages open. Those cages aren't open. Those slaves ain't going nowhere. But
That makes good sense. I think we can get the cages open.
Yeah, but again, like I said, they're slaughter unless you can take out. Like I said, I don't know what the forces are this guy has.
At the
Or
point,
what
I
if
think
it's a monster like this last one that's running it? That's a whole different ballgame. I didn't have no monsters running us. They were just humans.
I agree.
Kettle Tom knows more about their encampment, and I'm sure we can have him fill us in as we travel.
And that was my primary concern, was to get more information about who we're dealing with.
Horseshoes.
Get some
He's the one who
information
said-
he could.
Yeah, he said he found their place. I don't know if it's a fortress or an encampment, but I don't remember exactly the word he used. But he does know where it is, so we're kind of putting our trust in him, and he's putting his trust in us by coming along.
Well, we do kind of follow the bloody path behind us.
He follows Paladin, and he says he will not stand for senseless slaughter of innocents, which I told him, of course, that we're not about that either.
I agree. I'm not bloodthirsty. Perhaps on an individual basis, but not on a grand scale. That's not my way.
I explained that he would have to accommodate or accustom himself to our methods, but he would see that we were all true to heart.
I'm just concerned for the people that are going to be, like as Chlamydia said, chained to the ankle. That's going to be our primary concern.
Right. Well, once we find out where they're at, we can do a reconnaissance, sneak in, take in the situation, and then make a plan.
All right. I will need to talk to a tailor. I have an idea for myself. I will let you all know what I'm doing, even though it may, I just want you to know what I'm doing. I'm going to try to get some of my clothing fixed to where I can hide components on me. Being that when we were at the horse trader's place, he made a note that I was a spellcaster and, had my goodies in my bag. I'm going to put just a few small pouches where I can keep some mistletoe, some bull's hair for the basic stuff. And I'm going to so when I get a chance to do that, I'm going to go talk to a tailor.
Good idea. Get some pockets.
Because, I figure we might get captured on the ship.
The man that's making my clothes could probably help you out.
I would imagine it wouldn't be too difficult. It's just a few pockets where you wouldn't expect to find them.
Yes. Sewn into...
Nothing elaborate. Yeah, nothing elaborate or outrageous. Just a couple of ideas where I'd like to get in the pocket.
Into your existing robe?
Yes, into my clothing that I have now, yes. Like I said, I want like a little... I was hoping to get something for one of my shoes. I don't think I have heels, but I'd like a little pocket inside one of my shoes. I think that would go unnoticed, at least, unless they strip us naked. I'll have something on me. That's my idea.
Hey, check this out, guys. I'm working on a song. If you give it a listen, I'll tell you what I got going here so far, and it's kind of gonna try to sum up our adventure against these slaveholds. So give it a listen here. Dun dun dun, just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of we start from Teal down to be put to the test. Old Son again, he tried his best to halt our company. We lost Rise and Flaggy, as horrible as could be. But we returned re-energized with a plan that sounded best. We dragged his carcass from the depths and put his soul to rest. With Shadrach, Rise, and Covidius, Flaggy, Pig, K-Mark, and myself, all on Bazanagon's trail. I'm working on the rep. We got it started. All right.
I'm always entertained by Reginald, always.
Working on the tale of our quest. The the Trail of Bazonica.
Pretty cool.
It struck me. I got more. Here's Latonius, he gained our trust, but he was getting gay. Didn't find out soon enough, he led us all astray. With the aid of Shambhala, we made it out alive. We knew now more than before that evil had survived. With Shadrach, Covidius, Ictamar, and myself, all on the Zonogon's trail. Yeah, and then we gotta go back to the monastery, that part. I think this might work. I'm gonna work on that.
Reginald, roll me a D20.
Thanks for listening. D20? Did you say 20?
Correct.
Oh, 1.
Oh,
Right out of
Okay.
the gate.
So, implode.
Two!
oh God.
2.
Okay, so
Wow.
you play that song, and you're like, and your friends are like looking at you, and you see one of the monks is walking by and stops and just goes like this.
I can't see you.
Oh, you can't?
Oh, wait, you're in the little screen. Okay, try again.
Hold on, I'll fix it.
There you guys are. Hi. So I hear crickets chirping. That's it.
One of the monks had stopped and was watching, and when you finish and you're like, yay, he looks at you and kind of starts to walk away and goes,
Oh. Well, it needs some work. It needs some work. It's just, a rough draft.
I liked it, but then again, I have no musical talent.
all right. So, oh wow, look at that. It's right in the corner. Okay, so, so as the sun sets in the west, in the crafting area, the market starts to close, and the link boy starts to escort people from place to place with his torch. The gates are closed, and a relative quiet comes over this little village. Reginald,
Yes, sir.
you
Yeah.
They have an issue.
you have a very pleasant dream, one of finding Flaggy at the market. And when you go over and you're like, Flaggy? He's like, hey, Reginald, hi! And he hugs you. And you just kind of wake up and you think to yourself, oh, it was just a fucking dream. And
It was pleasant while
yeah, but for the time being, it was just like, oh. Pick, you sleep soundly. You sleep like a log.
Allowed.
Yeah. You sleep like an old log. Shadrach, you for some reason you rustle a lot in the leaves, and you find yourself being cuddled up to by several rats.
Daddy?
They can't like quit fidgeting.
I'll cast a spell.
You will? What spell?
Beat the animal.
Okay.
I will say, please stop fidgeting. I need to sleep. Make yourself comfortable or go away.
You hear, nothing's as comfortable as you. Yeah, nothing's as comfortable as you. I like it right here. And one crawls up close to your crinkle, and another one goes in your underarm, and they're like, man, it smells like cheese.
Hold still, I say, so I can sleep, or I'll send you away.
No, don't send us away. But
Hold still, then.
for some reason, they say they're going to be still and they don't. And you're finally like, ah! And they leave.
All right. I was going to repel them if I had to.
And
Dang it.
Covidius,
I dream of rats.
you have dreams about giants and what they could do, and you've never seen a giant, but you know what the term giant means. And in your dream you slay one and you think, well, that wasn't so hard. What's so tough about a giant? And then the sound of the morning comes and you all are awake and you have the day to do whatever you want.
Oh, I think I should be able to get my clothes today from that guy.
Reginald,
Yes, sir.
I bought everything for your horse except the blanket, so we need to acquire a blanket of some sort for your horse.
Very good. I appreciate that. I thought I saw the link. I'll pay that,
You don't owe me anything.
and I will give you the book.
No, you're good. You're good. Don't worry about it. It wasn't that much.
Oh, thank you, sir. I'll take the large tab X and the tab saddle. Here, the large saddle and my big X set bridle. Check them out. Make sure they're all, the belts and shit is there. And then I'm gonna spend a little time with Smoke this morning. What are you guys up to?
I was thinking maybe we could buy a sleeping blanket and just fold it in half. That might work. I don't know.
Buy a what?
A sleeping blanket and fold it in half to use for your horse blanket. If one of those are available.
Yeah, I'm thinking I can use them. I've got my bedroll. I can try to use that, or I've got a cloak, or I can just ride bareback until I get the saddle. I don't want it to dig into him.
Do you know how to ride?
I do.
I don't. I would appreciate some training.
Neither do I. I could use some help too.
Who woke up the clown?
No. I want to spend a little time with Smoke this morning. If you guys want to come on to the steer, and I'll show you how to get those saddles hooked up and
I do.
put everything on. You can spend a little time on his back today.
I do.
While you're training or talking to Covidius, I need to go pray for a little bit, and then I'll come join you.
Yeah, supposedly my horse knows how to do all this stuff, but I don't know. I don't know how to command it. So
I'll show you what I know and give you some basics.
okay.
All right.
Dick, what are you up to?
We'll be a little bit ready.
Is your armor going to be done, Dave? Not sure.
Tomorrow.
Thank you.
I want to talk to your tailor, by the way, Reginald, since you mentioned that. If we could go there sometime today, perhaps after I get done praying. I'm not too worried about riding my horse. I don't plan on riding it unless absolutely necessary. And since I can talk to the animals, I think I can make an arrangement with them. Not to throw me off or do anything elaborate. I think, but I will take your instruction as we are traveling. I think that'd be the best way to learn on the hook, as we say.
Seems like a pretty calm horse, too.
Pick, do you want a horse?
I think you'll be fine.
I think it'd probably be best if I had one too.
Well, we might as well go back. I mean, I'll go back with you.
I'll be honest, I know what they look like, I know what they eat. I don't know how you steer it.
Well, it depends on what you buy. If you buy the big one, they're somewhat trained. But you still need to learn how to teach it. That's what, that's what I'm going out to learn with Reginald right now. He's going to give us some pointers. You got to come with us.
I definitely will.
Okay, so the DM has to
All right.
step in here for a second, just so we're all on the same page. So, if you plan on fighting from horseback, then buying a war horse would be something that you would need. If you're just planning on using the horse to get you from point A to point B, then you want to spend a lot less and buy a riding horse and then get you something else if you want to carry a whole bunch of other things. You're not going to gain as much as you think by buying a bigger horse as far as carrying capacity than if you bought other things to carry your possessions. Depends on how much you want to have with you at all times. Obviously, if you want to load your horse down, it's going to go slower. That's just the way it is. But if you had a riding horse and then you had something else, because people in medieval times, unless you were in the cavalry or something else, most of their horses were just used for carrying things or pulling a plow, and they walked everywhere anyway. So I don't want you guys to get locked into the purchase of these big war horses because I didn't explain to you properly how things would go. And we can retroactively just say everyone bought or whatever. I don't want us to get bogged down on that. I'm trying to avoid that. So Reginald has his hand up.
You told me I got a big draft horse.
Well, that's what you wanted. I don't know why.
I found the video that he shared to be explaining the different styles of horse. And just so you know, I purchased what I thought was, I went with the light war horse. And I think in the description they talked about it in the video, he called the all-arounder kind of a horse, the middle of the road. So that's what I purchased.
Anyway, I'm just trying to make the game a lot easier because it'll be. I don't want.
I think my horse's strength and carrying capacity is going to be important at some point. That's my personal feeling. So, and I also, through some of my spells, can borrow that strength and things. So I'm looking at that as well. His strength and his endurance. So I may be able to, maybe he'll turn into my animal friend. We'll see.
Well, just me and my gear is over 240 pounds, so I picked a horse that would carry me and my gear, my shield, my sword, my armor that I'm wearing usually, when we travel around. I don't plan to take it into battle. I don't know enough about how to do that. But I wanted a horse I like the horse. I had the coin.
I'm not telling you shouldn't. I just need you guys to have all the information available.
Well,
That's
based on all the information you dug up about how much they can carry and whatnot, I didn't want to have two horses or a horse and a mule. And the horse, literally, it was 230 and then 260 for my horse. So if I went one down, I would only be able to carry 230. That would be under what I currently weigh with my equipment. That's why I wanted that horse. That way I'm not burdening the horse.
all right.
And I got a little bit of space to put a couple things on if I need to. That's why it goes that way. I mean, I know it costs a hell of a lot more, but you know.
Yes, pick.
Due to my stature, I think I probably wouldn't need a huge war horse.
But they have a light war horse. That'll do 230 pounds.
I mean, if a rogue is planning on riding a war horse,
I'm a businessman.
You can. I mean,
It's just a
it
horse.
depends on how much you're carrying. So,
It's just a horse. Unless you use it in war, it's not a war horse. It's just a horse. An intelligent horse at that. And I like that too. It's strength. More so than a basic one.
okay, so, Jason, I can't hear you.
I tell them.
And you were talking while other people talk.
I know. Go ahead, Shadrach.
Oh no, I'm just gonna. My thing. I was whatever I was saying before. I was just babbling. But I was going to say that these creatures, these horses, refer to themselves as women. Like we call ourselves humans or elves, they call themselves Winoms. Very nice reference there, Kyle.
Ah,
It took me a while to figure it
all
out.
right. Yeah, I was wondering.
And all of a sudden it went ding. I was like, oh.
Well, I still don't get it.
Gulliver's
From
Travels.
Gulliver's Travel.
Oh.
The
Okay.
Island of Intelligent Horses.
So, pick. Tell me what you want to do then. Because I think we're just going to kind of speed through the rest of this day and get shit going, and I'm fine with that. So just tell me what you want your outcome to be.
I would like to get myself a medium war horse.
Light. It is light.
Medium warhorse, okay? And who is going with you back to the
I'll go.
merchant?
Let's just all go.
That's fine.
There might be more than things on the road.
Yeah, because somebody's going to roll it. Somebody's going to roll the D12 here in a second. So, who's going with pick? So far, Shadrach and Covidius. And Reginald's like, oh yeah, we got attacked last time.
And I am going to give instructions and guide and show these guys. I'll throw in a fancy move here and there, but I'm just going to keep it basic and keep your feet in the stirrups and pull this way on the reins. And a light touch with your foot will make them turn one way or another. Just give them the lowdown.
All right, so first things first. Pick, roll a D12.
12.
All right. Pick, roll a charisma check with advantage.
27.
Okay. So, no more trouble in the woods. Pick, book price on whatever horse it is that you want to get.
225 gold.
And do you need me to look that up, or do you know what it is?
225 gold for a medium war.
All right. Do you have 225 golden coins to spend?
Yes, yes
Okay.
I do.
All right. And when you get back, Shadrach, you go to the tailor, you tell him what you want. He says it's going to take a day or two for those alterations.
Are we leaving in a day or two, folks, or are we leaving tomorrow?
Well, we're not leaving tomorrow. Pick gets his armor back tomorrow, so probably won't be in the morning.
Fair enough. I'll give the man how much for those alterations, my good man.
Six
Does the
silver.
horse have a name, or do I name it?
It has a name, but he says if you want to call it whatever, you can give it your own name, and you can tell me what you want the horse to look like.
It's on the picture.
So the DM is leaving it up to you because the horse color isn't really gonna matter whether a natural 20 hits it or not. So you can make it look however you want, and you can give it whatever name that you want. If you want to go with the name that they gave it, they called it Gary.
Oh God. Call it spaghetti.
So you can come back to me on that when you figure that out.
Okay.
So Jason, did he give you a price?
Yeah. No, I asked you what it would be.
6 silver coins.
I'll plop down a gold and say, make it as subtle as you can. Make it as unseeable as possible, if that makes any sense.
Well, the way you described it is these would be mostly on the inside of your clothing, so that shouldn't be an issue.
Thank you.
It's just a matter of getting the proper matching color on the threads, but considering your clothing is mostly homespun, it won't be that difficult.
Yeah, it should blend right in by my thinking.
Which is why I think we can get this to you by sundown tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, and I would like you to write down what alterations that you wanted.
It's an easy one. I've got
Just-
it. I'll message you here shortly.
Yeah, not just so I understand what it is you want. And then
Yeah, just a couple of hidden pouches, basically.
and then Reginald, you're going to show these guys how to do some things with the horses. You realize that learning, almost anybody can ride a horse, but learning how to get the feel of a horse and using your knees with no hands and the balance required for all that is where the extra training time comes in, and where you would have to make a roll to see if you can even teach it to these people. But you do have to spend the time if that's a task that you're willing to undertake, and it could be a while. And I will read to you some of the actual things just so you have an idea.
I buy several apples from
If you don't
the market to get
see
my
no
horses.
fair, fair,
Okay. Since not all characters are suited to instructing others, any player character who attempts to train another player character must make both a wisdom check and a charisma check. If the wisdom check is passed, the player character possesses the patience and insight to nurture the student. If the charisma check is passed, the character also has the wit, firmness, and authority needed to impress the lessons on the student. If either check is failed, that character is close, but just not a teacher. If both checks are failed, the character has absolutely no aptitude for teaching. Second, the character must pay, but since this is your friend, he can say whether he wants something for his time and effort or not. And finally, the player character must spend time in training. The amount of time required depends on the instructor and the student. First, take the instructor's wisdom and subtract this from 19. This is the minimum number of weeks the player character must spend in training. It takes his instructor this long to go through all the lessons and drills. At the end of this time, the player character makes an intelligence or wisdom check, whichever is higher. If the check is successful, the lessons have been learned and the character can adopt the proficiency. If the check is failed, the character must spend another week in training. At the end of this time, another check is made with a +1 applied to the character's total. The results are the same as above, with each additional week spent in training giving another +1 to the character's score. One obvious result. Okay, so anyway, so nothing's guaranteed, but you will have to spend the time regardless. So, and COVID has a
Should we
question.
make the rolls?
I mean, you'll make the rolls first to see if you are fucking not a dickhead teacher. And then secondly, the person you're teaching will make rolls to see if he's like, oh, I get it, or, yeah, I don't get it.
Should I do that at this, when I first start instructing?
No,
So
after,
you say,
oh, well,
one until, research one until you with us.
I'm sorry, Daryl, you're breaking up. We got a bad connection right now.
He's frozen. He's frozen, I tell you.
Daryl, you're frozen like a popsicle.
Frozen like an icicle. Close your mouth. Red poison. Hey, so let me ask my question real quick. Is this something I would have had to do when I'm teaching all them these weapons as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
But really, you've done it like a day, so I didn't bother.
No, I did it a lot. Every time we'd have downtime. Specifically, Shadrach and his
I just sent you the message, Kyle.
big sword. More so than the other guy.
My scimitar.
Yeah, that.
Also, when we're traveling, I'm going to just let it be known that if we're on the road, I'm going to have my spear in hand.
So before you start the training, it's like the teacher would roll, and then the time is spent, and then the student would roll. Daryl, according to the way I'm reading this. So
I'll go first after Daryl rolls.
Mike, can you hear me?
yes,
My question was, should I roll that now as we are on our journey today and we're riding and I'm instructing to see if I'm happy, or should I wait until another time when we're like, okay, let's take some time and do some training?
I thought that's what we were doing.
you can roll now. That's fine.
And do I need to roll for each person that I'm telling this to? Or are they all going to roll separately and I'm like, hey,
No, you'll roll for each character, because that would be if you have the ability to apply different triggers or pressure points to different students. Because you can't teach every student the same way.
right.
So, first thing I would like you to do is pick which character you're rolling for.
I will begin by teaching Covidius.
Okay, so make a wisdom check and then a charisma check.
D20, right?
Daryl.
Yes, I'm moving my page here so that I can see that wisdom score. And the total is 22.
Okay, so you have
21, I'm sorry.
you have the patience and insight to guide COVID. Now let's see if you can pass your charisma check.
That total is 25.
Okay. So apparently as you begin to show, you notice that COVID, you caught his attention and he appears to be attempting to learn. So
Very good.
now for Shadrach, make a wisdom check.
Do I have to roll?
Not yet. Hold on, Shadrach. Oh wait, hold on, Daryl. What do you want, Shadrach?
Okay.
Can't hear you.
I'm going to cast a spell before the training starts. Speak with animals. And as Reginald is instructing me, I'm going to whisper the instruction to Strep so that he understands what's going on. and I'll tell him, this is for both of our benefit, and because I don't plan on riding him all the time, and I'll also explain that. But that's the gist of what I'm doing to help with him.
Okay. So you are not giving your full attention then to your teacher.
That is not what I said. I said I'm casting that before my instruction begins so that when he does instruct me, I can pass on information to Strep to enhance the lesson, basically, so that he knows what I'm trying to do.
That's not the way that works. You can so you try that. Daryl, roll wisdom check with -4. Because this student is he is not paying as much attention.
He's leaning down in the horse's ear going,
Pretty much, yep.
4 and 13 is 17.
Okay. And now make a charisma check. Couldn't hear that one.
Am I subtracting also from this one?
No.
The total is 18.
Okay, so you failed that one anyway. Okay. All right. So, as you are attempting to instruct Shadrach, he appears to listen and then whisper something to the horse, or talk to the horse, or whatever type of communication that he says. And not only that, but you failed your charisma check, which means you notice that, and you get a little frustrated by the fact that this fucking horse, apparently, you're not teaching the fucking horse, you're teaching the dude. And you start getting snippy with Shadrach.
Hey man, I'm different.
And Shadrach comes back with, "Hey,
look at me.
I'm trying to pass along the information to the horse. This should help." And you're like, "Yeah, that ain't fucking helping. You're the one that's got to control, not the horse." So, what that means is, Shadrach, you'll have to find another teacher that is apparently willing to allow you to, or you'll have to change the dynamic to get another attempt from a different tutor. You can certainly try and learn as much as you want, but you're not going to learn it from Reginald.
Well, I don't plan on any circus acrobatics or warfare, so I think I'll be fine.
Okay.
I'm sorry, man. I can't work under these conditions. Okay. Maybe you can tell the horse later. We can try.
I think we have both misunderstood one another, and I'm sorry about that.
Okay. Well, anyway, so the horse, and also Shadrach, when you whisper to the horse, it's like, what do you whisper to the horse? Like, he said that I should use my knees, and when I press...
No, I'm trying to I was just trying to do it to add to
the
learning experience.
Yes, I know, I'm just trying
I think you heavy-handed it on me, and that's not what I was trying to do. It was like...
Well, sometimes...
I was listening very carefully to my instructions, and at a certain time, when I thought that I should whisper to the horse, like, "Hey, I'm about to fall off," something like that. But not like word for word everything that he says. No.
I understand. If you've ever tried to teach someone who isn't giving you their undivided attention, that's how that works.
But see, I felt that I was giving him my attention, and I was talking to the horse was me being able to ride something that I could understand and could understand me. That's the difference between the other people just riding a horse.
And I
But,
believe...
okay, that's fine. I get it. No, but that's perfectly Shad-like because he's all in the animal.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
The
I'm
DM, the DM believes that you believe that, but as the DM, I have to make a judgment call and keep rolling.
I'm in.
All right. So, but other than that,
Got pick horse.
you
It's very in character, though. No, I agree. It's very in character. So,
you all accomplish that stuff. What?
Pick's horse.
What about it?
We haven't done it yet.
Haven't done what?
Trained his horse yet. You did me, then you did failure, and then what about Pick?
I don't know what.
The same training thing. He's out there with us.
At this point, I don't know that he has saddle and reins, bit bridle and all that.
Well, that's
We
true.
were only buy 2 sets,
Yeah.
but I can, we'll certainly talk about it. You can see what I'm talking to you about.
It came with the lead and everything because they gave the horses to us with those.
And if you want to ride with me, you can do that. We can just use the lead to bring your horse along, or we can swap.
I could give you my horse to learn. I mean, it's not the horse that's learning, it's you. If you'd like to take, I get off my horse and I say, here you go, Pick, jump up. He can train. He's training you, not the horse. So go ahead and use mine.
Okay.
And I watch Pick's horse while he's up there trying to learn. Hopefully better than Shadrach.
All right. Well, you see, what we're doing here is put one foot in, and you kind of throw your leg over, and I will begin a lesson.
All right, roll a wisdom check.
Very nice. 34.
Make a charisma check.
18.
Oh, and you have a decent charisma too. So
Yeah.
something.
Poorly.
It's like you're getting with Pick, and you're like, okay, no, I see. He likes this, and then you
I'm just not the best teacher, guys. I'm trying. I don't know. I'm not sure what to tell you here to make you see it clearly. I apologize. I'm sorry, guys.
I may be a poor student. I understand.
You suck, Shadrach.
I'm not used to riding animals. It's not something that I find entertaining.
You weren't this bad when I was teaching how to use that scimitar. Why don't you
I'm not riding a scimitar.
just listen to the man?
The scimitar is a tool. My horse is not a tool.
Not what it said about you.
Agree.
You notice that every time Pick tries to get up and down from the horse, he reaches across with the wrong hand. And you're like, no, you do it like this. And then he makes the same mistake again. And you're like,
Dude,
no.
Your arm is just going to get in your way like that.
It's not like that. So then he's like, he tries it, but this time he accidentally gets ready to fall, and you go over to catch him, and instinctively he's getting ready to turn, and he elbows you right on your neck, and you're like, and you're like, no, we're done.
Dang it. Like we're that monster clubby.
I go up to Reginald and I put my hand on Reginald's shoulder. I'm like, brother, it's not you.
And that's how you,
Pick and shrug.
and that's how you explain failed dice rolls. Give a
Leave
chop
it
in
in
the
the
throat.
elbow in the neck.
I was unaware of that rule. I'm glad you found that. It kind of gives it a little more reality instead of just saying I do it.
Yeah.
Because I know plenty of people that are capable of a lot of interesting things, but I doubt that they can teach me how to do it.
Yeah.
Without being very... I'm a hard person to teach because I'm the kind of person that says, just give me a book. Don't talk to me because it'll go right through my ears.
I'm
Give
in
me a
agreement
book.
with that.
I hate being lectured. I just hate it. Just tell me what to read.
Okay. Randall got your message.
And also regarding that thing I sent you, Tom, if the guy wants me to leave my clothes with him, which I assume he would, it's not a problem. I can walk around.
Yes, he will need you to hand over the things for alteration.
Yeah, not a problem.
All right.
I do it.
So.
And I wonder, sir, if my
Can't get a
cloak
better.
Go ahead, Reginald.
I wonder if my cloak is ready as we speak to that guy.
Yep.
Awesome. Let me give you the remainder here. I check it out, turn it around, check out both sides, and throw it with a swirl over my shoulders.
Okay.
Try.
I'm going to let you roll it. Roll a d20.
That is a 10.
Okay. It certainly appears to be exactly as you want it.
Very good.
Seems to
Very
be
good.
held together and stitched well, and there you go. So add
Thank you very much, sir.
that to your inventory and subtract the funds, please.
And I give him an additional 10 silver. And I thank him for his fine craftsmanship and hurried work.
No, I was reading that little sauce packet. I was wondering why those little sweet and sours were a different color. It's because I picked up duck sauce instead. It's not sweet and sour. They were like orange instead of, yellow.
Sadly, I'm lacking in my Asian cuisine.
Yeah, it's just, I thought I kept pouring it in and I'm like, something's wrong. They say they're duck sauce, whatever the fuck that is. Ugh. It's not sweet and sour. Yeah, just kind of
All right. So, unless there's something anyone else wants to do today, we'll skip ahead to tomorrow. All right. So it is the next day, and the weather looks like storms brewing.
Oh, did we see how many weeks I have to, or days I have to be taught by Reginald? He was supposed to subtract something from 19 to find out how many times, or whatever. Thought it was his charisma from 19 to find out how many days or something.
You said a storm is brewing.
Reginald, what is your wisdom? What is 19 minus your wisdom?
19 minus my wisdom is 6.
Okay. So yeah, it takes 6 weeks before
6
you get the
weeks to
chance to
learn.
roll.
Right.
And at the end of that time, there's a chance you might not learn it.
Oh, I understand. Now he don't have to roll his stuff again next
No.
time we train, right?
Nope. It's
Okay.
all on you now.
Okay.
Here's the book. Oh. Okay. So next day comes. What do you guys want to do? Pick.
Go to the craft area to see if my armor's ready.
All right. Your armor's ready.
Go to the craft area as well. Buy a brush for the horse.
Do you know what you're paying?
Uh-huh.
Didn't you pay half before, and then you're going to pay the other half now?
Yep.
Okay. So your armor is repaired, and please subtract the coin. Okay, and then COVID, you're doing what?
Buy a brush for the horse.
Get out of the way.
Buying a brush?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or whatever green tools they would sell it. I can use the horse. I asked them what they think, and
Ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous.
something to do.
Yeah.
I literally just can't.
Now, I bought horseshoes. Do I have to pay somebody to put them on, or I mean, I don't know how that works. I paid for them, so I know they don't just slip on. I'm just saying. I get that.
Horseshoes and shoeing. I think that's in the equipment.
One gold piece. Book prize.
I paid for the shoes, but I don't for you too. But I don't. I'm asking them. Do we have to have somebody put them on? I don't know. Does the gold cover the installation?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It says horseshoes and shoeing, 1 gold.
Oh, okay. Well, that's done.
There you go.
that it had horseshoes on it. So
No, he said they
Is
did
that-
not come with shoes, so I paid for yours as well. That was all part of what I asked him when I was taking the stuff out of the book, and he said no, so I bought yours the same way.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Alrighty then. Okay.
I packed up
Hey
my.
now, I want to go get my goodies too.
Alright, Shadrach, not an issue. You go get yours.
Okay.
So everyone hopefully has anything that they were having altered, mended, or what have you. It's all taken care of. Kettle Tom finds you guys, and he's like, all right, it's been 2 days. Are we ready to go?
Yeah, this is that horse at a party. Just curious.
No.
Okay. Just curious. I didn't buy any for mine either. I was just wondering.
I saw a dragon at Daryl's house.
Yeah, it's my familiar. He's on the desk here with me.
Nice.
That's an old one. I just dug him out of the closet the other day. I said, hey, that'll go good on the D&D desk.
Looks like a bottle opener. Like his mouth is poised to.
What?
His mouth is poised to pop your bottle. Your bottle.
There you
bottle.
go. Snap.
Alrighty, so as the storm rolls in, you all roll out. Kettle Tom. Jason, you also pick up the map that you wanted.
Yes, I was about to say that. I was out in the kitchen. Sorry.
So, unless someone wants to do something before you leave, you head out. No abilities checks, no spells, no nothing.
My prayer was quick, and it was before anybody noticed.
All right. So, you head off north. The same gate that has taken you to 2 or 3 different places.
So when do I get to see my map?
Do you mean like me making you a map?
If you would give me a crude map, I'll make one.
Okay.
Oops. You know I can make a pretty map.
I do.
Did you make that one you posted?
Yes.
Not the crude one, but the really nice one?
The city?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks nice.
I got it right here. Yeah, thank you. I've got several compliments on it, and that's the kind of stuff I like to use. I like it to be a combination of modern and also crude. I want it to have the old look, but also be, for our eyes to understand what's there. So, yeah. I love drawing maps. I've always loved drawing maps. So if I'd have ever gone into the military, I would have gone into the cartography bit or aerial recognition. I would have done one of the two things.
So we're heading out.
Okay.
How did we head?
Jason, you want this sent to your Gmail account or?
Yeah, but send it wherever you want, man. Wherever you send it, I'll get it. But I will show off my map to the group and say, look what I had made. I hope this is helpful. I'll especially show Kettle Tom and Yuko that are you familiar with any of these areas?
Hey, that's nice.
Talking. Maybe that's some Kettle Tom.
He says, well, that certainly shows the
Excellent.
the northern road.
Excellent.
So where?
Okay, I'll ask Kettle Tom, where in relation to that clump of trees are the Slavehold to the north?
On the shore.
So directly east, north,
West,
or I'm
west.
sorry, west, northwest, southwest?
A little northwest, but not much.
All
Several,
right. How far are we from that clump of trees? Can you tell me?
he says it will take
I'm from further north of that clump of trees, I'm pretty sure. If that was my home area, I'd know it. But my personal, I say we make for the trees. I think that'll be to our benefit. That's just my personal opinion. If anybody wants to do a different thing, then I'm hip. I'm not here to push any agenda.
I'm following Tom. He's the one who knows where we're going.
Yeah, that's why I showed him the map and said, you know, what do you think about this idea of a route?
roughly a week's journey.
Well, what do you think? What do you know of that area? Do I know of that area of woods? I'll ask him what he knows, and then I'm just going to think to myself if I know anything about that region. It's just woodland area.
It's
Just a shot in the dark.
it's remote. It's dangerous. You're not quite into the safety of the elven forest there, and you're not quite within the range of any dwarven cavalry, so a perfect spot for a slavehold.
So, Tom, do you think we should make for that area of forest?
That would be too far inland. This slavehold is right on the shore.
So be it. And I'll allow you to choose the route. I'll trust your knowledge.
The route is simple. Take the northern road until it stops and then keep going.
Tom,
Huh? That sounds like a plan.
have you seen any of these slavers up close or enough to?
I've scouted their stronghold.
Do they look like me by any chance?
I did not notice any that looked like you.
Okay. Because we run into a band of them that were from where I'm from that was slaving on this coast. So I didn't know maybe it was the same group.
He says, well, now that you've brought it up, I feel like the road is an appropriate place to discuss your affiliation with those slavers, or lack thereof.
Sure, I might as well tell you. I mean, everybody else knows, you know. We have a missing member in our group. He was my commander. He was commander of their armies several years ago. I led many troops in his name. He was poised to be the next one seated on the throne, but some of his peers did not like that idea and they wanted it. So they plotted against him to kill him. I found out about it. I rushed to give him the news. They slaughtered me as I was delivering the news. And sometime after that, I all of a sudden was alive again in the woods to the far north of here, at peace, and I just made a simple life in the woods. And then a few years later, Rise showed up in my woods, stumbling around like he had just come from our battlelands. And it turned out that they had gotten to him and killed him as well. Rise and I have been put here by our god, Nemesis. I think it has a lot to do with getting rid of these slavers. We were not, when I was leading the armies with Rise, we were not slavers. We freed slaves. I was once a slave freed by Rise and his men, and then I joined their ranks, and we continued to do so and fight the monster hordes to the east of my lands. We ran into, at the Cave of Madness, we ran into a large group of Echo Ravens, and we knew their leader. He was the one that actually was the demise of myself and Rise. And they are apparently using slaves now to build their walls, their cities, and whatever. So they were here bartering with a slave lord to get slaves to take back. I don't condone it. Rise doesn't either. But I don't condone this is the complete opposite of what I fought for. So, and then needs to be put to the...
So it makes... So, it sounds like your God has, or something has put you here to fight against the slavers.
It seems that way.
Oh. A holy quest. And if you were to see these people from your homeland now, are you...
Well, they would surely attack me. And I would have to dispatch every one of them that tried.
Well, let's hope that things don't get to that. Let's hope that they're gone.
We prevented them from taking the slaves they came here to get, by the way. We freed them and brought them back to the monastery here. There were
That's right.
many people that were missing. Those are the people we freed.
Hmm.
So they left here with no slaves.
So it's very possible that if they saw you, they would very much wish for your
Probably.
demise.
Well, I will tell you as much as what I think is, for the most part, in the rank and file, they're following orders. Those that are in charge are leading everybody down the wrong path. Eliminate the snake's head, and the men will come around to doing the right thing. I believe that, Mark.
I agree.
You don't believe that your homeland has a systemic need for slaves, and you think that by eliminating whoever thinks that they need slaves, that'll change the minds of the people?
We didn't before, why do we need them now? That's my point.
Sounds like a question that needs to be answered.
I agree.
Nobody needs slaves. They only want them.
There are many points of view in this world, Shadrach, and there are those that can believe with every fiber of their being, and you can disagree with every fiber of your being. And so, would you say then that because you are the one that believes differently, that makes you correct? Or would you say the only way to determine who's correct is trial by combat?
How do you mean differently? I believe that slavery is evil. That, as I said, nobody needs a slave. They only want slave.
What if
Any job performed by a slave can be performed by a free man.
You're not listening to me. What if COVID's people believe that it is their right to subjugate, and it is as normal as your customs? Do you think
If there is balance, then there is balance. And right now, the balance is off. And that is my belief. And slavery, I personally believe, is abhorrent, but I do not determine the politics of foreign nations. And as I said, where I go, I seek balance. And right now here, with slavery as it is an imbalance, and it must be cured. That is my belief.
Well, I certainly believe that the ownership of men is terrible and evil. But I also believe that there are certain beasts that shouldn't be kept either, but they are.
I believe that.
Or are you
I
willing?
believe
Are you,
be enslaved.
would you like to set your horse free at this very moment?
It is known from the beginning that it was free to go. I only ask it to stay and be my friend. If it wishes to go, I won't stop it. I am
Impressive.
not its master, nor am I its owner. I merely, it's something that I paid money to set it free. If you wish to go that route.
It's very rare to find, and I use this term in the best way possible, a zealot who is not a hypocrite.
Oh,
Well done.
I'm not sure how to take that.
You may take it any way you wish. As I said it in the best possible way. But just making small talk on the road. At some point we'll have to be quieter. And I would like Reginald to roll a D12, please.
Bum, bum, bum. 7.
Nice.
I'm writing that down, by the way.
7?
Yeah, that's what I'm writing down.
Okay. So, anyone want to do anything before we go to the next day? All right.
Train horse riding a little bit before we camp up, I guess, as we ride along.
Okay, so you realize that you're out in the wilderness with no patrols. You're still pretty close to the city as far as actual distance goes, but obviously your attention will be not on, you won't be as tuned into your surroundings if you're partaking in some other activity.
I understand.
Okay, so
verbal coaching is as far as I'll go.
And as far as every night, you can have the same watches. The only thing I need to know is, are you going to have a fire going all night, or are you going to put it out?
Is it cold?
No, not really. It'll get a little cooler at night, but
I don't know.
so it's just for you guys to decide. Yes, Shadrach.
I was going to ask, hang on. Yeah, I was going to ask, when's the season change next?
Probably another moon before you get to summer.
Ooh, well, good. We're in a good time to be moving and traveling.
Well, most people didn't bother to do a lot of traveling in the winter. War wasn't even a thing they liked to do in the winter, so
I know.
it's easy to have a D&D game without you having to mess with the snow, unless that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But so, all right. Any other
change with the season?
Any other outstanding or constant things I need to know?
I have a question for you. Since we're going down the trail, couldn't he kind of teach me things as we're both going down the trail instead of waiting until we go to camp?
Well, I mean, he can certainly try.
I mean, I understand our mind wouldn't be watching the road so much as... I understand that, but I mean, Pitt could be up front.
I mean, it's like anybody. If you're traveling somewhere and you're distracted, then things can happen.
Sure. But, you know, I mean, it's just thought. I mean, we're riding side by side. He could be giving me pointers and whatnot, and Pitt could take the lead today, or then we could swap off and he could learn tomorrow and I could take the lead. You know, I'm just thinking...
Well, you would have to convince your teacher to do that. Anybody can try anything.
What do you think about that?
I think we should I'll give you a couple pointers here and there. You're doing fine. Just wait till we get settled in for the evening and we can concentrate on the lessons you need to learn.
Okay.
I think you got the saddle down. There's a couple tricks you can learn, but just practice the riding.
Okay.
You're doing great.
All right. I'll take first watch.
Okay, so watches will be first COVID, and then are you doing any other ones? Apparently the second watch will be pick. Okay.
I'll watch because I haven't cast any spells.
And what'd you say, Reggie?
I'll take third watch.
I'll watch with whoever wants me with them.
I thought you had to still sleep all night. I don't know.
I haven't cast any spells. I don't need to rest. I need to rest like everybody else.
I thought you had to pray every day to your gods and whatnot. I thought that was more important than learning new spells. But I don't know.
How much do you know about my faith, Obey?
I just said I don't know.
Exactly.
Well, I know you fuck it up regularly, so I thought I'd throw that out there.
The friendly reminder.
Capital M.
All right. How about pick? Roll a d12. Oh, and what about the fire thing? You gonna leave the fire on all night, or you gonna put it out when it gets dark?
I don't need it. I don't start one and I don't run it through my first watch. When I wake pick, there's no fire.
7.
All right. We move on to the second days of journey. And unless someone specifically needs to do something in the morning, Reggie has his hand up.
Hey, Shadrach, you got one of those berries?
Can't hear you.
I will, upon him mentioning it, cast a spell. And I will produce 5 good berries.
And now Pick has his hand up.
I want to ask, since they brought up berries, would those good berries help out a horse also?
I was wondering that too.
Yes, anything that can eat them, it will help them.
There's only one
A
way.
fish could probably eat one, for all I know.
Well, I tell you what, I have an extra good berry that I can use, and I'm going to give my horse a good berry.
So I cast good berry for the day.
I'm gonna do the same for mine. I have extras as well.
Also, note that I can cast bad berry.
Tonight when we rest,
I'm gonna get the
Hey,
bad
hold on,
berries.
Shadrach, hold on. COVID, go.
tonight when we rest, if we want to make camp a little earlier, I'll go hunting for some game.
Good idea. We'll have to have a fire then.
Yep. That's why I said we stop a little earlier. Maybe we can get the fire out before nightfall.
Okay, Shadrach. It's a man-sized creature,
Oh,
so it will not work on these horses.
okay. Well, I didn't know that, but now I do. I'm sorry. No. What if they ate 2 of them?
It'd be a man-sized creature time too.
Have you? How many good berries do you have for today? Did you roll 2d4?
I have 3 that are still good that I've kept for a while. Everybody else should have at least a couple.
I have none. That's why I was asking if I could have them.
Let's see, Pick's got 5 of them.
I've got 5.
I have 3.
They're good for 1 day plus 1 day per level when they were cast.
So
So
they're probably getting ready to be ripe.
Well, then I would
7
give my
days,
horse a
so,
second
yeah.
one. And Reginald, would you like a couple?
Yeah, thanks.
But you better eat them soon. Eat them
I'm
soon.
eating them now. No?
We can make a stew. Good berry stew.
You know, you could probably brew a potion with that.
I mean, they're kind of like a little potion on their own. But I think if I took it any further, it might either blow it or, I don't know. I'll have to experiment with that.
Nina said that all you needed was good berries and the water collected from an oak tree and a fresh rain. That's what he uses.
That's not an unusual component, but yeah, I believe that. I believe that the good berries could probably add something to something greater. But I've never.
Amos that said that.
I mean,
Yeah, there was a little weird guy in the potion shop.
You get a hit point, you get a full belly, you get a full meal. So I mean, that'll get you through the day. If nothing else, it'll keep you alive out in the woods. That's I know. I survived off good berries for so long that they all taste the same to me.
And I appreciate you for making them. They've helped me immensely.
I feel that it's me giving the fruit of Mother Skell to her children.
I'm going to take my horse and walk around this morning a little bit and let him graze and eat.
If you have grain or anything for the horses, I might be able to keep it fresh or increase its volume. I think I can keep it fresh for a pretty long time if you need it.
Well, my horse will be out of grain today because I bought grain for my horse, but just one sack, so.
I mean, under any but extreme circumstances, I'm pretty sure I can keep us all fed. I'm pretty sure. Horses included.
Okay, anything else before you take off?
No, sir.
Alright. Shadrach, roll a d12.
Alright. There we go. A 12.
Okay, and is there any particular marching order?
I'd like to be towards the back.
I'm first.
I think that's a good strategy, just personally.
I wouldn't mind taking the lead.
Well, can two ride together, Scott, in here?
For now, yes.
I'll ride alongside you and we talk until we can't.
Very
Then
good.
I'll let you have lead if you want.
Okay. Pick, do you want to ride before or side by side or behind Kettle Tom?
All right, side by side.
Alrighty. And I would like COVID roll a d12.
4.
Alright, second day passes.
No, we're gonna stop a little early so I can,
What do you want to do before the day ends?
I'm gonna go hunting.
You gonna go hunting? Okay.
So we stopped a little earlier in the day so I can go hunting.
Alright.
Since we don't have tag mark, I just look for a spot off the road where there's a natural little gully or ditch, or something where if we were in there and had a fire, the flames wouldn't be noticeable in the distance. And then they started making up camp. I started taking my armor off to grab my bow, and I start looking for deer or anything edible.
Can I talk to Kettle Tom at some point?
Okay. Roll your hunting.
18, 19, 20, 12, 24. That's not 100. 25.
Okay, roll percentile.
71.
Okay. And roll another d20.
Go ahead and do it.
No.
19.
Okay. Okay, there, the first thing you see, and go ahead and roll, yeah, okay. So you stop, you, you hunt, you see off in the distance at about 171 yards, because you rolled a 71, a very large elk.
Oh, well, I gotta go for the sweet spot of this guy to drop him, because he's anywhere else he's just gonna keep running. I am for the brain.
Okay.
You want to in the head.
You want to try to close the distance.
Yes.
Okay, make another check. Hunting.
0.3.
Okay. So every time that you make a successful check, you close 20 yards. So you're now at 151.
Which is what range is that for mine?
Crap.
10, 20, 30. So which one would it be then?
10 would be 50, 30 yards.
So long range would be 90, so I'm still way outside that. Right? Gotta get closer. 17.
Okay, now you're at 130.
Natural 20.
Ooh, explode.
Another natural 20.
Oh, explode! We might have a triple sloogie.
14.
Okay.
20 with my hunting. No, 21 total.
Okay. So 20. So on that one you closed 60. So now you're at 91.
Oh, that's a long range. Damn.
But you moved way up on that one.
Yeah.
Like for some reason it started to walk caddy corner and it like was going somewhere to drink and you were like, oh. Toot, 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 toot.
So it's long -5. I gotta get closer.
Okay. If you want to move closer, you can.
Let me ask you this: Are you making me roll a call shot for the area? For
No.
Okay. Well, that's not my sport, also.
I mean, only if you want to do a called shot. Otherwise, you're just shooting at it.
Well, I just hit it in the hind end. It's gonna run.
I don't know how much hit points it has. I don't know what kind of damage you're going to roll.
No, not on what this was. I don't think.
I don't even know how many hit points an elk has. I'd have to look it up. But right now you're at 91 yards, and it appears like it does not know you're there.
I'm trying to close some more. 14.
Total? Okay. Roll a d10. Or, yeah, roll a d10, but don't you have some kind of elven moving silently jam?
Yes, it is.
You get a plus to surprise or something like that.
Gains a bonus to surprise opponents. The opponent suffers -4 penalty.
Okay, roll a d10.
4.
All right, yeah. It doesn't seem to notice, even though you snapped on the twig. But, oh! So that puts you at 71.
Which is still over. 20.
Total?
Yes.
All right, roll another d10.
Up 6.
Yep, it still doesn't know you're there.
So I'm at what?
51.
Okay. I can do this now. So I'm only at what? -3? -2.
-2, medium range.
Inner class 1.
1? All
Yep.
right, that's good enough. Roll damage.
Is this considered large?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus. That makes even less damage.
Because you rolled a 19 and that Just going from small to large.
No, it's not. Still D6. Okay, cool. I was looking at dagger. 3.
All right, your arrow strikes true. Animal, no. Animal, no. Animal, no. All right, 3 points of damage. Okay, it gets hit and it starts to run.
I'd like to fire off another.
Okay, let's see. So that would put it with your second. Okay, go ahead. Same chances.
14.
Hit an armor class of 14.
No, I'm sorry. Oh, I was sitting. 4. Armor class 4.
That's a hit. Roll Dankus.
4.
4 points.
Yes.
All right. Good enough. So you wound it. It runs for a while, and then you find it, and you field dress it because there's no way you can carry it.
Yeah, I was just going to cut the 2 hind legs off the hind quarters.
Okay.
And does it have a rack of any kind?
Oh yeah.
I'm going to cut that off and take the head back, the rack back, in case
Okay.
it's something that Shadrach can use for something.
Okay.
And I head back.
All right. So while you are doing that, Shadrach wanted to do something.
Didn't even roll so long ago.
Shadrach, are you there?
Here I am. Yes. I was going to just go a few, perhaps a dozen or so yards into the, what kind of terrain are we in right now?
Light forest.
I'm going to go about 20 yards into the woods and pray quietly into the sunset. If we're at sunset, or that's the time that I will choose to pray is at sunset.
Okay.
I'm seeking guidance. Basically, I'm seeking guidance. I'm calling upon Mother Skell, the forces. I'm calling upon the future to see a dream, perhaps something to guide me. And then at some point, I want to talk to Kettle Tom.
That's right. Okay. So are you casting any spells?
No,
Okay.
it's a strict prayer.
So
Yep.
you pray in the stillness of nature, the sounds, the smells are all around you, a general feeling of contentment, and then you finish and you go back to camp and you start a conversation with Kettle Tom as he has just finished setting up his tent and has his horse tied off. And what can I do for you, Shadrach?
I pull out the map and say, how much further do you think? How many days?
Well, I think that we're a week away when we started, and this is our second day, so I'm going to say 5 more days.
3 days from now, I will need to make a special prayer, and I will let you know that I need to do this so that I don't alarm you or otherwise offend you. But in 3 days from now, before we reach where we're going, I need to make a special prayer. It may take a couple hours.
Okay.
But I'm asking you, if anything, at that time, protect me because I'll be vulnerable.
I see. Okay, sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then a short time later, after that, Ovidius comes back carrying parts of some kind of large four-legged, parts of the head and the 2 hind legs of an elk, and nothing else.
I toss the elk head over towards you, Shadrach, and say, I don't know if these horns or anything would be any use to you or anything. I don't know. So I thought I'd bring it back. And then I flap down the 2.
You can make a cool helmet out of that.
I dropped it to hindquarters near wherever the fire is or isn't or is going to be or whatever. So it's all the meat I thought we needed for the large animal.
Shadrach, does the sight of part of nature going to waste give you any kind of feelings at all? Can't hear you.
It's not, I don't see it as waste. I see it as just simply he's doing what he thinks is the right thing to do. And it's balanced. Nothing is wasted. The meat will be eaten. And I'll ask Covidius, did you feel anything when you killed this animal?
No. Should I?
Okay. You can feel thankful that his life was given to feed you.
Alright, I'll keep that in mind.
Please do.
I need to roll for my 2 arrows, or 3 arrows.
I'd like some firewood.
I mean, you're already back at camp.
Well, okay.
Shadrach is going to just keep an elk tooth and a piece of the antler. Just a small piece like that. I'll just break it off.
Bonesaw is ready.
I'll let you make a wisdom roll to see if you remembered to get them.
Like once
In
in the
hindsight.
hindquarter right here. Possibly. Oh, what? Wisdom?
Yep.
10.30.
All right. Roll percentile.
74.
I had you roll the wrong thing. Roll a d20
1.
and then roll another 20.
13.
One arrow is retrievable.
That's in it 3 times.
Oh, roll another 20.
I thought I did. 18.
2 arrows are retrievable.
Okay.
You can take the broken arrow if you want.
It's just a flight arrow.
Alrighty. So anything else before bed?
Well, we cooked the meat and eat it, or eat some of it.
Who's doing the cooking?
I started the fire.
Looks like Pick's cooking.
Okay. So Pick, you're going to try to cook this. You have any tools or things that could let you cook it reasonably, or are you going to make things out of sticks and try to do this?
I'll sharpen sticks and hang them over the fire.
Alrighty.
Hey, let me help you. I'll shave the meat as thin as possible and make it cook quicker.
So with Covidius's assistance, roll a d20 twice.
17 and a 12.
Okay. You out of everything that you attempt to cook, by the time it's all said and done, about half of it's edible. The other half either fell off and fell in adjacent to the fire, or you attempted to set up the spit over the fire, in which case the fire caught the thing on fire. Unless you know cooking, in which case everything you don't have to roll and everything turned out fine. Do you know cooking?
I know eating. I don't
Okay.
know cooking.
So anyone can cook basic things, but if it's never been a thing, you got to learn somehow. And now you know. Okay, you don't fucking cook the food directly over the fire. That's dumb. Just shit like that. So for your first attempt, that's how it turned out. And then anything else for the night? Nope. Okay. So I need Shadrach to roll a d12.
I was going to say I'm sleeping tonight.
Okay.
I'm sleeping tonight. Do I still roll a 12?
Yeah.
Just don't roll 1.
A 10.
Alrighty.
Butthole.
Day 2 is over. Day 3 comes. Anything in the morning other than usual stuff from anyone?
Not me.
All right, hearing nothing, you pack up your things and set off.
Just to add to our morning routine, the grazing of the horses, if there's anything they can graze on the trail or side of the trail, or anything they
I'm
find
sure
they
that-
might want to munch.
When they're tied up, there's plenty of things.
Okay, I'm just saying, I make sure I'm not forgetting that.
Obviously, what you'll have to do somehow is find water for the horses.
I was told we had somebody that could make all the water we'd ever need, so
I don't know, do you?
I was told we did. Shadrach,
Well, you know that your horses need water, so what are you doing to keep them alive?
we need to give these horses water.
Can't hear you.
So I put my shield down with the outside downward. I said, can you put some water in this, I get my water flask.
Give me a moment to find the proper spell here. I'm trying to remember which one it was. Let's see here. Create water. Alright, hang on. First level spell.
Need to find a low spot that can contain it.
I put my shield down to hold water.
Are we on like a flat plane here?
I mean, it's not perfectly flat. There are dips and dry creek beds and
amount of water.
water creek beds that you'll cross sometimes, and there's gopher mounds and giant anthills and
Giant anthills.
all kinds of, even Kansas isn't perfectly flat.
No, that's true. Kansas is
Oh,
kind of like a lumpy cliff. I've been there. Okay, let's see here. Now that's the third. I can create food and water, but do we just need water? Tell you what. All right.
Make food too, we'll eat it.
All right, I'm gonna.
We got full bellies though.
Okay.
If you want to add that to your morning everyday routine, you certainly can, but you need to be aware that you'll have that spell slot gone. So-
Right now, I see it as a need. I'll work on that because I think I can economize this down. But okay, I will create 3 cubic yards of food and water. That's what I can create right now. 3 cubic yards of food and water, which I think is enough for everybody. The water, 3 cubic yards of water is a pretty good chunk. 3 by 3 by 3, that's a pretty good area of water. That's like almost probably a good sized barrel or more.
It's more like 9 by 9 by 9. You said 3 cubic yards?
Yeah.
It's 3 cubic yards.
It lasts for 24 hours.
3 by 3 by 3.
All right,
Or I can
that's
wait,
fine.
yard-
I can purify it and extend
It's
it.
9 by 9. It's 9 by 9. So it's just 3 cubic yards.
If
Yards 3.
I can create food or water. I can't create it. I have to create 3 and 3. I can't do just 9. I have to create 3 and 3 because that's how it's going to work out.
Well, at the moment, I'd like to fill my wineskin as you cast this spell, both of them.
Yeah, I agree.
And I suggest you find
I'll
a...
tell everybody to gather around, get your water receptacles ready, and I will create food and water. I will get down upon my knees, grabbing the dirt, putting it to my face and saying, Mother Skell, grant us the boon of your generosity, that these animals and these people may be fed and watered for today. I will
And
hold my hands up and proceed to cast.
everyone's water skins start to balloon magically as they fill with fresh potable water, and then the remainder ends up in whatever other place he chooses it to be.
Well, there could be a nice puddle on the ground for the horses.
I laid my shield down on the ground so you can put water in it to feed the horses, drink the horses.
I was going to say if the horses want a free lap of water, they're going to be able to have it on the ground. So, and there's also a bunch of food, a bunch of horse food, because we all got good berries, and I can good berry again. So,
Well, horse food? Well, I put
if
some of that in the bag.
food for horses, I mean, we could all eat grain.
I know, but I put it up in a sack, so I've got some to take with me. Okay.
It only lasts for 24 hours.
Okay, good enough.
All right.
What happens when it's in the belly in 24 hours? Does it go away?
Once it's eaten, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's a strange creature.
All right.
All right. Very good.
Good Lord.
So
Why do you even eat food?
you continue on your journey, and I would like Reginald to roll a d12.
Here we go. That is a 7.
All right. Does anyone do anything during that day?
I will pray.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll pray if necessary. If we need more food and water, I will use that spell up until the point where we get to where we're going. Or, also, everybody, we should keep a lookout for streams and stuff because it's easier for me to determine if water is drinkable or not. And I'm pretty sure the horses can grade. I mean, we're in a light forested area. I'm pretty sure there's grades for these horses.
They certainly
Just
can.
saying.
And
Every
occasionally,
evening,
go ahead, Reggie.
just was saying that's part of my routine is letting the horse graze and working with Covidius on his riding for whatever limited time we can once we've settled in.
Okay, very good.
And I'll keep a lookout for water and stuff, like maybe a spring or something if I can do that.
Sure.
I can detect water if I need to.
That's certainly easily done. So, I would like Pick to roll a d12.
I'm sure you're gonna get one of us in weeks or here.
2.
All right, the third day is complete, and you wake up with Reginald already awake on the last watch, and
Yeah, let's go.
prayers are had, routines are performed,
I have a question.
water and food is provided for animals and people alike, and then Reginald has a question.
I, on this morning, decide to observe what is Tom's ritual. I mean, he sleeps, he doesn't guard, so does he get up and does he pray, and what is his ritual?
He seems to be pretty, for lack of a better term, boring. He'll get up and kind of go over to the fire that's been put out, and first thing he'll do is he'll take the remaining firewood that was gathered and start a fire in the morning, and then he has a tripod that he'll put and hang a kettle on, and he'll toss some. It looks like he does some type of ritual, and it fills up with water, and then he puts some kind of brown thing out of a pouch into the water, and then he puts the tripod over the fire and he lets it heat the kettle, and this kettle looks like it's been used, and because it's all black on the bottom and starting to rust a little bit, and then he'll kind of stir it every so often, and then after about an hour and the sun starts to break over the horizon for dawn, he'll take a cup and he's got this tin cup that he has, and he'll dip it in there, and he'll go and he'll sit on like this, for lack of a better term, like a folding picnic chair, and he'll just sit there and look at the sunrise and drink whatever that liquid is out of his cup, and just kind of mumble a little bit and look around and kind of fiddle with the holy symbol or whatever that's around his neck, and yawn and kind of like just nod acknowledgement as he sees people in the morning. He doesn't seem like real excitable. And then after he's done with his cup, he'll go and you can hear him like say a blessing over the kettle, and he'll get a piece of cloth or something that'll keep his hands from being burned, and he'll remove the tripod, and he'll take the kettle and he'll pour the rest of that liquid into some type of leather container with a stopper, and he'll put that away, and then he'll start breaking down his tent and bedroll and all that, and cinching everything back up and stowing it. Go ahead, Shadrach.
Shadrach kind of sidles up next to Reginald and gives him a little light elbow and says, "Those are the ones you got to watch after." And then I walk off and whisper to a horse.
After Kettle Tom has packed everything up, he will then go over to his horse, and he'll put all his things. He waits until everyone's ready to go before he loads his horse, but then he'll sit and he will sharpen his weapons and check over his equipment. So that's kind of his morning thing.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question, Tom,
Yes, Shadrach.
and take no offense, but how many men have you killed?
I have had to kill probably 600.
600.
My goodness.
That's not the answer I was expecting.
You're more of a soldier than I expected.
Well, then I feel confident in your skill. I thought you might have said 6, but 600, that's... I don't know, I don't want to say that's impressive, but it certainly gets one's attention.
It's not something I'm proud of,
No, I understand that.
but
If you would express pride in that, I would have questioned your moral.
it's something that, unfortunately, when you're put in a position to choose between who lives and who dies, if you don't make the decision, then usually the people you want to live die. And
Thank you for your honesty.
so, shall we?
Indeed.
All right. So on this 4th day, I need COVID to roll a d12.
Now elbow Reginald again and say, see, 600.
That's a lot.
A 5. And Reginald has his hand up.
I will play a tune on my lute as I ride along on this day. I need to tune up my practice a little.
And are you playing to play, or are you playing to impress?
Just to play.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Stretch my fingers. And my strings.
All righty. Anything anyone wants to do before making camp? Nope. I would like Shadrach to roll a d12.
A 3.
Okay. Kettle Tom says, Shadrach, by my estimation, we're probably 3 days. So whatever it is you need to do, I'm reminding you.
Brothers, if any of you have... Do any of you
Spit it
have...
out.
Do any of you have any gems?
No.
No,
Okay.
I don't.
Kettle
all right,
Tom says, I do have a gem, but it is not, it's for my holy symbol.
I would never ask that of you, never. Okay, Cobb, I'm going to ask you as the DM, and here's what I want to do. The spell is called Augury. There's two versions of it. One requires basically bones with gems encrusted on it, but the other one requires willow branches. What Shad wants to do is make it like, that's the reason I was telling Kettle Tom I need some time to do this. I'm going to go out in the woods and bleed hardcore. I'm going to bleed out and cast this spell because I'm not going to sacrifice another creature to do it. And that would be, instead of the gems, I want to personally basically injure myself to cast the spell, if you'll let me do it.
Okay, you need to have something that's worth 1,000 gold coins, which is not expended in the casting.
Okay, now the one I was looking at, perhaps to use my spellcraft with, is the Shugenja version.
Yeah, that's Asian.
Okay, so
so what you need to do is you need to tell me what you have that may not look like it, but is worth 1,000 golden coins, and it can be personalized.
And well, oh no, I can't do that. That's why I wanted to bleed out, to where I'll literally bleed myself out to a couple of hit points if I have to do this to get this spell across, because I think it's important. I'll spend all night doing it.
Jason,
group again.
Jason, no, that won't work. You need to come up with, and you'll have it. I'm not going to make you go get it. It says common. So make up something that's unique that you'll be able to use.
Your religion.
That you'll be able to use to read the tea leaves or roll the bones or what have you. That's what you're trying to do.
I'm kind of perplexed as to what I have that's worth 1,000 gold pieces.
I'm giving you the opportunity to make something now. Like, do you have a set of golden covered oak leaves, or a series of acorns that are actually made of tiny diamonds? Anything like that you would throw down and you would read. That's what the augury spell is.
Throw the bones, man.
I have bones. Oh,
yeah, you get a whole stack of them. With runes on them and all that.
It needs to be something that's tied to your faith.
I know what I need to do, and it will involve me bleeding, and that's a personal choice of mine. I go out into the woods. I say, and I'll tell the group, just guard me, because I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to be vulnerable, and I'm going to be weak, and I feel that this may gain nothing, but
holy cow! What are you doing?
I'm going to look into the future and see what our best guess is right now. I'm going to see if what we're doing is a mistake or not, or if there's I'm going to beseech the powers that be, and it's going to cost me to do it.
Okay, so obviously you're not getting the point of what the Dungeon Master's trying to get across.
I'm kind of lost on what I can do.
So what I'm going to say is, you reach into your pouch.
I was going to empty my pouch, basically.
You reach into your pouch, the pouch that you hesitate, because you know what's in this pouch is tied directly to your backstory. But you reach down, and in the pouch inside the pouch, you touch several little round, hard things. And they remind you of acorns, tiny acorns off of a newborn oak tree. But you know that's not what they are.
That's from way back in my origin. Way back. I thought those were lost.
And as you bring them forth, you start to cast the spell. It takes 2 rounds to cast. And you have a handful of these things, and you're passing them in front of you and around, and you're saying things in your druidic cant. From the top of the mountain to the stream that runs strong with the rains of spring, I wish to know what our choices will bring. And though these may not be the actual eyes, I beseech the witches to realize. Bring forth and reveal to me, will we succeed or will we flee? And then you would ask your question, and you would toss these on the ground, and then as people look, out of your hand comes what looks like tiny little skulls. Like a handful, like they're each about the size of a marble. And they skitter across the ground until they all face straight up and all of their mouths open at once. And they make this weird little sound. And then they kind of be quiet, and as you stare into them, you would get whatever the spell decrees that you would get. So what is your question for augury?
My question is, will we succeed in freeing the slave?
The seeks to divine whether an action in the immediate future within an hour will benefit or harm the party.
Damn it, wrong spell. I keep trying to find the right spell to...
You probably don't have access to it yet.
I thought this would be a better one. In any event, I will go ahead and cast that spell.
You might be thinking of commune.
That's, I was thinking about that, and I was really getting the two. I was torn between which one to cast. Because
Genius is a good one.
I don't think I can cast it.
The level 5 spell commune. By use of the commune spell, the priest is able to
level 5.
contact his divinity and request information in the form of questions that can be answered by a simple yes or no.
Yeah, I can't cast level 5. No way.
Priest?
I thought augury would help. That's fine. I'll blow the spell. Maybe I should have cast it right before we got to the place. And that's my mistake, and I won't make that mistake again.
So roll percentile.
Alright.
Because you still ask the question, and we'll see if you can free the slaves in the next hour, even though you're 3 days away.
65%.
Okay. The DM yields some indication of the probable outcome. In the next hour, you see a squirrel in a tree, and it goes into its house, a hole in the tree, and it looks out, and then it steps out of the tree, and it looks at you, and it goes, and that's how your spell goes. So Kettle Tom's like, ooh, this is exciting.
The skulls are pretty cool.
Mock me, Kettle Tom.
No, he's genuinely, he's like, this is cool. And he's like rubbing his hands together in anticipation of something magnificent happening. He doesn't know he doesn't know what you're doing.
I lied from what I was doing, holding my head, saying, no, I made a terrible mistake.
Do you pick up your augury skulls?
If I may, I will.
You know that you have to have them do this, so yes.
If that's the thing that I can do with them, then yes, I will collect them. I understand now.
And if you were to try to sell those to anyone that knew anything about them, they would be worth 1,000 golden coins. But to other people, they're like, what the fuck?
See, now I didn't know that, and now that's something I won't forget.
Playing a spellcaster is much more difficult than being a fighter. So...
I didn't know I even had that stuff on me. If I'd have known that, I could have cast other things earlier. But okay, but that's cool.
What you mean?
I know it now. I know it now.
Okay. So,
Also, I would consider, because it was involved the witches, I kind of blocked it out of my mind. Because the witches was a traumatic experience for me.
sure was. Was for Ox Baker,
Thank
too. Oh. All right, so you pack up and head on out on day 4. I think it's Reginald's turn to roll a d12.
Okay. I'm going to pick a different D12 this time, because the last 2 times it was a 7. On the same die.
Ain't
That one
that
goes
wrong?
off fucking head.
Yeah!
Ain't that wrong with 7, Daryl?
All right.
8.
You guys want to do anything today before you make camp?
Standard jam.
All right. Then, except Reginald.
Hey Tom, please let us know before we just come up on this encampment so we can scope it out first.
Yes.
That's all.
I need COVID to roll a d12.
Oh no. Will.
All right. We start with day 5.
Flip clock. flip
Anything in
clock.
the morning before you guys leave? Hearing nothing? Shadrach.
I have my stuff turned off. Every morning I do make a prayer. I make at least a good half-hour prayer, regardless of whether I've cast a spell or not. On this morning, I've also cast Goodberry. Everybody gets a Goodberry. 5 Goodberries.
5?
Are you rolling 2d4?
It's like a D4 plus 1.
It's
I
two-
figured I'd just
it's-
get 5 for everybody. What the hell?
2d4.
So 5 for everybody should be a good, even, just round number. But I'll roll it.
Well, that's 20. If you give 5 to everybody. 25.
No, I make 5 and everybody gets 1. That's what I meant.
You make 2d4. How do you get 5?
Alright. In fact, I made 6. So there.
See? There you go. Better.
Casting a Goodberry spell upon a handful of freshly picked berries makes 2d4 of them magical.
So I made 6.
I ate one of the old ones. Put the new one in the pack.
All right.
I was just trying to be average and keep it simple.
Let's see. COVID already rolled.
Yeah.
No, you rolled for the overnight. Okay. Shadrach, roll a d12.
Oh no!
Oh, yeah.
A 3.
All right. And then anybody want to do anything before you make camp? Nope. Pick, roll a d12.
Sitting wall.
A 1. Yay. Okay. I would like everyone to
There it
make
is.
charisma checks, please. COVID.
26.
Pick.
31.
Reginald.
24.
Shadrach.
25.
Oh, you all made it that time. Well. Um,
Tom.
you guys have stopped. Oh, I guess I better roll for
Uh-oh.
Kettle Jones, huh? Here we go. Pink die of death.
A 2.
No, 35. Okay. So, as you all have stopped at a stream and the horses are getting a nice cool drink of water and the druid is checked and the water is fine, and you see along the side of the banks there's lots of fish that are even like flipping out of the water, getting at bugs that are there.
Man,
You
I could catch
see,
some fish.
I would like all of you to make perception checks, please.
Is that a D30?
It's a D30 plus your intelligence? No.
Oh.
So Shadrach, total?
30.
30 even, okay, pick.
39.
39, Reginald.
32.
32, COVID.
35.
All right. Landing on the far bank is this super colorful bird. It's about 3 foot tall with long legs, yellow feathers ending in black tips along the wings, a long neck with a bright orange beak, and these tuft of white feathers coming off the head, and it stops and it's getting a cool drink of water, and you all have like noticed this bird, and it just calmly getting a drink, and the stream is about 30 foot wide, but it's a low creek. Like theoretically you wouldn't even be wading. It'd probably come up to your knees at the most if for some reason you wanted to cross. Go ahead, Shadrach.
I'm casting a spell.
Uh-oh. Is anyone else doing anything?
Tamar said birds were stupid, but he couldn't pick up corn with his pecker.
Ah!
All right, hearing nothing. What spell are you casting?
Speak with avians.
Speak with avians?
It was alien.
Avians are real, man.
It was avian. Let me get it straight here. I may have to make a spellcraft roll since it's an elf spell, it says.
Speak
But it looks pretty verbal and chromatic, so just probably a little, my holy symbol, a little spritz of mistletoe, and just, yeah, and I'll let me know. And I have speak with birds also. That's not an elf spell. I have speak with bird. So I can try to speak with it if it's just a first level. If both of them are first level spells.
Okay, I need you to make a religion check then, or spellcraft, either one.
My religion check is higher. Let me look real quick. I'm gonna click because one's higher than the other. Let me make sure.
Well, then roll that one.
Yeah, my religion is. I'll do religion, so it's a D20 plus my religion.
Correct?
All right. That is a 32.
Okay. All right, so you cast the spell, verbal, somatical. What's your verb and what's your somatic?
Like I said, I will bring forth. Remember, I grabbed some feathers at the market. I mentioned that. I will bring forth a pinch of feathers and a pinch of mistletoe, and call upon the spirit of birds and Mother Skell to give me voice, that I may speak and converse with this beautiful creature.
Okay.
And I will say hello.
You have to get all the way to the edge of the water to cast this.
I will do so.
Okay. And okay. So the thing stops drinking and kind of flips up its head real fast, and its feathers kind of flitter, and it goes, hello.
Greetings, beautiful one. We were impressed by your magnificent feathers.
Are you saying I'm a pretty bird?
I'm saying that you are a magnificent bird.
Call me pretty.
You're pretty.
Call me Joey.
You're Joey. You're a pretty Joey.
What are you doing here?
We seek a large group of people that may be in a camp nearby. Do you know of them?
No, I do not. No one around but you. You're the only ones who are disturbing the natural order. Call me Joey.
You're Joey, we mean you no harm, and we just ask that we pass in peace.
Make a charisma check, please.
Ooh, 32.
Okay.
I'll turn back to the group and say, well, it doesn't seem to be dangerous, and as long as we pass peacefully, I don't think there'll be any trouble. But it doesn't know anything. I asked it. It doesn't know about the slavery.
It's pretty.
Its name is Joey.
Hi, Joey. You're a big bird.
Joey's pretty.
And I lead my horse back to the trail.
I follow.
Well, I thought he might know something. Oh well.
Dyson said no.
All right, so do you rejoin your friends, Shadrach, or do you continue to use the time granted you on the spell?
I don't think I'm going to disturb the avian anymore, and I'll just go back with the group.
All right.
I don't see it didn't answer anything I needed to know.
So when you turn around and begin to leave, you hear off in the distance, Jam Jones!
I didn't hear that, Tom.
Jam Jones!
Jam Jones. That's a Jam Jones bird. I know it.
Call me Jam Joey.
Jam Jones Joey. He's pretty. Pretty Jam Jones.
Pretty birds. All right.
Hey, he might have had answers. I know this. That's why you rolled. I know.
Okay. So,
It's a cram snatch bird. That's exactly what it is.
I would like Pick to roll a D12.
5.
Oh, you rolled it last time. Oh, well. I forgot. Okay, that's fine. All right.
-3.
Day 6. Do you do anything before you leave? Break camp.
Just my
Getting pretty
prayer.
close, aren't we, Tom?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes we are. I'm going to suggest that when we get to the point that I made it to previously, we leave our mounts there. It'll be probably half a mile away, and we'll have to walk the rest of the way because you really can't silence a horse.
Right.
Gotta scope out the situation.
I'm
And,
going to.
and those of us that are in armor that makes noise, we'll just have to do the best we can. Unless someone
Is
can
one
cast,
armor?
unless someone can cast a silence spell upon us, or some way of allowing us to be more stealthy.
All I can
Tom,
really do
wearing
is
that.
work really hard to track.
Hold on, Reginald. Go ahead, Shadrach.
I can't really make us quiet, but I can make us hard to track if we have to run away.
Well, that's not nothing. What were you saying, Reginald?
I had a thought a second ago, didn't I?
Maybe
You did.
I can split off away too. I can be quiet and stealthy. We definitely want to make a plan of action before we just rush in.
Well, then when I say dismount, you'll know that we're close, and I'll give a brief description, but you'll have to see it for yourself. So,
The other thing I asked was, is Tom wearing metal armor? That's what I was.
he's got
Is he wearing armor at all?
he's got chainmail, coif, and leggings.
Okay.
And Shadrach, you got a question?
When we, I'm going to say right now, when we tie up the horses before we move off, I need to cast a spell right then.
Well, that's great.
Keep him
It won't
calm.
take long. It'll be a quick spell. It won't take long.
You gonna use your rat skulls again?
No, I'm going to tell my horse to tell the other horses to be calm and just stay where they are.
Oh, very good.
Okay, so, on the evening of the 6th day of travel, he says, okay, let's just go a little bit further. I think I know where we are. And then let's push on a little bit past our normal time so we can get to my previous spot. Are you guys okay with that?
Move slow,
Yeah.
we can still move silently. We move
Okay, I need COVID to roll me a d12.
slow. Here, wait a second.
No.
I said if we move slow, we can still move mostly silent as long as we move slow. 11.
All right. So right before it's totally dark and those cool rock star glasses start to take effect there, Reginald, you come to a place that looks almost perfect. It's got 2 trees, and one of the trees looks like it's been bent at some point, and there's a piece of it that's going sideways. And Kettle Tom goes over and goes, this is the perfect place to tie off our horses. And you can see that in the ground there is a dugout area, and he says, Shadrach, if you could create some water there in this hole, that would be helpful.
I will do so. I will cast a first level spell, Create Water, since I can. That's a cheapie, and I will look it up exactly how much I can create. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of water I can make with that.
So he says, so here's the deal, fellas. If we walk about a half mile tomorrow that way, and he points, he says, we're going to be like almost on a cliff that overlooks the stronghold. And the stronghold
Is it right on the ocean?
It's very, very close. The reason that it's on the ocean, in case you hadn't guessed, is so ships can come in and they can dock and do whatever piratey things that they want to do. Now, you all had talked before about trying to blend in. If you want to blend in, all you have to do, I mean, it's not really my style, but kick somebody's ass right off the bat and get some respect, because this place is full of people like that. This isn't so much like a military place where, or a place like the monastery where there's a lot of discipline and conformity. This is a place for outlaws, thieves, slavers, whatever. So yes, there might be somebody in charge, but that's because he's the guy that can either keep everybody in line or pay to keep people in line, or has the contacts to sell the slaves, or pays good when slaves are delivered, or what have you. So I haven't been inside the actual place, but I have scouted it, and I will show you exactly what I saw tomorrow. We're going to be a ways away from it, but luckily it's from a high spot, and someone would have to have eagle eyes to see us, or some type of magic, and I don't know what they have. They might have none. They might pray to no gods. There might be no place for a magician. I don't know. But that's what I have to offer. I'm getting us here, and then after that it's up to us. What I was going to say was, would we want to disguise ourselves or just say we are a group of cutthroats and go in there and act like we want to buy or sell something? I mean, I can certainly take off my tabard and I can put my holy symbol in my hidden belt inside of my chainmail. I don't have a problem with that. But if somebody asks me point blank, are you a follower of the Paladin, I'm going to have a hard time saying no. So
What are the chances they'd ask that?
What are the chances that I would meet you guys? There's no telling.
Yeah. I've never heard of it before now, but somebody else may have.
I don't think. I don't know.
And if your people, not you, but if your people are active, involved in slaving, you know, you might be viewed as one of them. Now, of course, it'd be bad luck if the group that you hate is already here, or they've put up wanted posters for you, or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
that would suck.
But I don't have
But
any
you couldn't
idea.
stop in.
I don't know how long ago, and if...
Well, I'm not wanted by... I doubt there'd be a wanted poster of me, because these... I mean, that's like saying the bad guys putting up wanted posters amongst the bad guys. I don't think they're concerned with that.
Well,
I personally don't think
if they think they can get paid money for killing you and delivering your head, that's a thing that bad men do.
Yeah, I don't...
And there's one other thing, though,
I
I
just
can
don't-
tell you very specifically about this place that I did see. There is a creature that roams the territory around the stronghold. And it is unlike any creature I've ever seen. And I'm almost scared to even mention it. I don't know what it's called.
Describe it.
It is twice as large as a man. It carries a huge spiked club, I guess you call it.
Maybe it's one of these giants we heard of. Are there any big ships in the port, like that would accompany a monster this size?
I don't know. Well,
I heard they were out. They weren't on this land. They were further out, somewhere over the ocean. So maybe it came here on the boat.
If we go to the far end and look, we'll be able to see what size ships. If you think that would.
Well, I don't think
give
it matters either way. If
information.
it's here and it gets in our way, we're gonna have to fight it. So I don't know.
Anyway,
Well,
I saw it briefly and I hit, and I'm ashamed to say that, but
the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
There have been those of my order that have said I would welcome the challenge of facing such a beast. I am either not that brave or not that stupid. I want to live.
It'll be interesting to see it tomorrow.
If I have to fight it, well, let's hope we don't see it. Maybe it's not here. Shadrach, did you have your hand up?
Offer me as a slave for sale, highly valued. I can read and write. I can tell them I can speak multiple languages and I have talents with animals. I can walk in there practically naked. Just show them to me in my bare clothing, if you must. Or, my other objection is, we have no money to show these people, to show that we're here. We don't look like rich people buying slaves.
I have money.
I think the cutthroat idea is a better angle. I don't like the idea of selling any of us, or even offering.
You would put me in a, they wouldn't, if you sell me to them, the last thing they're going to expect is that I'm loaded.
They're going to expect me to punch you in the mouth, and I don't want to do that.
Punch me in the mouth. They won't hurt. We're going to be saving a lot of people.
All right, look, let's vote on it and get over with.
Well, hold on.
I'm against the idea, and I raise my hand.
Against which idea?
I'm against the idea of selling him. I like the...
That'll get us right into the middle of them.
Okay, so vote. Raise your hand if you're against it.
Kettle Tom votes. Oh, he says, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I agree with Shadrach because I
All right.
rolled lower than 10.
Then it's 3-2. You lose. You both lose.
Okay.
I don't think that's a good angle. You're right, it might get us into see people that are interested in buying you.
I mean, slaves
I don't
don't
think
cost
we-
that much
I don't
gold.
think we look like slavers. We don't have that look.
Don't have to be slavers. We're coming in to buy a slave or two, or we have a personal need to. We don't even have to go in as we know each other.
All right.
We
I have
can
enough
learn
money
more
to buy
just
a
by going
dozen
and talking
slaves.
to people.
That was my suggestion. I was willing to do it, and I'll leave it at that. If you don't want to do that, then I'll fight beside every one of them. That's fine.
It's very brave.
I think that if I got into the middle of them without them suspecting that I was carrying a few bits and pieces. I think that could cause a lot of damage to them, but
Shadrach, we're not doing it. Enough. Please.
But we're not trying to just go in and wage war. We need to find out what's going on and who's the leader. We can't just go in and
Right.
bang, we're here attacking your...
I accept that. It was merely a proposal.
Oh, I get it. We got to definitely throw the ideas out there. So we're going to camp here tonight, is that correct? And then we'll head on in the morning?
Sounds like it. Cobb left. He'll be back.
Okay. Yeah, we definitely, I think the cutthroat angle is a better angle. We could go in, you know, we're all wearing armor, except you, Shadrach.
I mean,
And
that's my point.
Prometheus.
I wasn't like saying just walk in there and let them take me in arms and then all of a sudden I explode. It's like, no, let them put
I
me
know.
somewhere, and then while you guys are
Yeah.
talking, I'm doing other things and they're not expecting that.
That's a possibility. That splits us up. I think we're stronger together.
I know. I understand that. That's another thing. Yes.
And Covidius, Tom had a good point with you being, you're still wearing your
Yep.
home field advantage armor, so maybe you could have a foot in the door, so to speak, if they've dealt with other Achaemens.
And I have a confession. I have dreamt of the giant creature.
What do you know? What do you know of it?
In my dream, it simply told me that it's not so hard to kill as it may seem. But my dreams are my dreams.
Wow.
I was afraid, but it told me that it was immortal. It's a mortal creature. It is not anything more than flesh and blood.
I'm not
But
worried
it
about
is
it.
big.
Never seen a giant, so it will be interesting to see this.
Yeah.
If it looks like the thing that I've seen in my dreams, then I will know that my dreams have much more potency than I believed before.
The only thing I would be concerned with is that the larger they are, the harder they're going to hit. But beyond that, if it's flesh and blood, I'm sure I can drop it, or any of us can drop it, or we as a group can drop it. I would just be leery of its blast from the fist or that club, because that's a lot of power in its size coming down on somebody. Like dropping a brick wall on you.
I may be able to slow it down if nothing else, as I've done with creatures in the past. If
That'll
I
help.
can get it into a patch of mud or next to some bushes, I can slow it down.
That'll help.
Very good.
But
But I've
if we're
seen
going
it
to
in
attack
dreams.
it, you can't slow us down. You understand?
No, I understand that,
Okay.
and I haven't.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, if you slow it down, and we need to attack it,
Clear.
we need the edge. We can't have it slowed down, but we can't get near it because it's slowed down in the some sort of
Have
spell
I
you
taken it
cast.
before with my spells? I don't think so. I think I'll be able to, at the very least, get its attention. My dream has shown me that I have to confront this thing. And I think Kettle Tom will agree that he needs to confront it too.
Kettle Tom's like, I hate to admit it, but hearing you guys talk, I came up with the idea, or I figured out something that I should have figured out a long time ago. And it's going to sound stupid, but I guess now I can understand why this place hasn't been, I guess, either brought down or attacked or whatever. Like the creature that wanders the woods probably keeps everything out, and the only way in is through the seaport, and that's probably well guarded.
Slaves have to come in from somewhere. There's got to be a gate or a road, or is it an open area on the beach, or is it a walled encampment with guards?
It's walled, and
Oh,
there's imagine, if you will, a huge, a huge wooden fort surrounded by walls made of wood, but outside the walls is forest. And
Okay.
I didn't see any roadway through the forest, but I swear I saw the creature from the cliff top.
I believe you.
I always wondered, I just thought it was like, oh, there's a creature there, and it's just random that it's there, and then it's like, well, of course it somehow works in conjunction with the slave lords, because it's probably being fed things that either try to get in or yeah.
I may have a spell. Let me look.
I bet you do.
Anyway,
Keep on talking.
I suddenly have a headache. I'm just going to go ahead and start setting up camp. So
Yeah, I'm ready to turn in.
he says,
Hey, wake me up when your watch is over, buddy.
I'm gonna light this little lamp here, and so we can kind of see, those of us that can't see it dark. All right, Shadrach, are you just talking or about the spell, or are you finished?
I'm gonna, Comidius, would you mind coming with me?
Okay, what are we doing?
You know it's dark
I'm
now,
gonna-
right, Shadrach?
I understand that.
Okay.
That's why I'm having him come with me.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to find, I should probably wait until daybreak. No, I'll wait until daybreak. We're good.
Okay.
Thank you, sorry.
Okay. So does anyone do anything else before turning in? Hearing no objections,
Extra vigilant.
I think it's time for, whose turn is it? Is it Reginald's turn to roll a D, or is it yours? COVID, you're up. Roll a D12.
2.
A 2. All right. So, the morning comes, and with the sound of birds and sounds, other sounds that you're not familiar with, coming from the surrounding area, you wake up. And a little uneasy at first, all kind of expecting something to jump out of the woods, but nothing does. And you prepare for the march through the trees towards Kettle Tom says, I will lead the way.
Do I see any crows anywhere?
Roll me a D30.
I rolled a 10.
No.
Okay.
I asked Shadrach, I said, it's morning. Did you need to do something this morning?
I was going to try to find some animals to talk to, but they're not around, so I didn't
Okay.
think we can find any crows at night, so we're good.
All right.
But I'll keep a lookout for crows as we're walking along, just at the corner of my eye. Oh, the puss! What's his name? Or her?
Oh, this is Oxboggin.
Oxboggin! He's a big boy.
She's
He's a big boy.
she's all right. She's a little clingy, but
She!
yeah.
I thought it was a tricolor for a second.
Normally, if Caden's here, she likes to hang out with him.
Oh my gosh.
And then I'm second place now.
Oh no, you're still loved.
Okay.
Put your dick back in your pants.
Caden's not even a cat person, but the cat's like, well, let me lay on you. Caden's like, all
That's
right.
a good sign. That's a good sign.
Yes. All right, so Kettle Tom has whatever he wants to take with him. He looks like he's got his weapons and a couple of sacks tied on his belt. He's got his water. And that's it.
I got what I got.
Are you guys taking anything other than...
Not my backpacks, not my tent, all that stuff, leaving it back on the ground, the horses. Just weapons and shield.
And
Okay.
I cast my spell to talk to the horses, or specifically to my horse, Strep. I will say, Strep, we might be gone for several days. Keep the other horses calm. Stay nearby. But we'll be back. One of us will be back.
I wonder what my horse will say.
Your horse says, if we're going to be gone for a couple days, at least
Yeah.
let us be able to get away if something comes to get us.
I'll look at the other people. I'll look at the rest of the group and say the horses need to be free to roam. If we just leave them here like this, something's going to get them. My horses
It'll
said...
only be a few hours.
Do you really think it'll be just a few hours?
Yeah. Kettle Tom says it's about a half-mile trek. Now, obviously, anything can happen, but if nothing happens, we should be back probably after
A
dinner
day?
time. No, not even a whole day.
All right. Then I will tell Strep we'll be back within the day. We'll be back by sundown, hopefully.
Here's what my
Just
horse
keep
will say.
calm.
You should still untie us.
I'll untie Strep. I can't speak for the others. I'm sorry.
He
And I'll
says,
tell them.
he says,
He
make
said
them
that they should be
understand.
untied, but I understand. But please, Strep, stay here and wait. Please, don't run away.
If something is
Please.
going to eat me, I'm not going to let it eat me.
Well, then I understand. And you're free to run then. But I'm asking you, if nothing comes, stay, and I'll return to you. And keep the other horses calm. The other Winhams.
I'll do my best.
Thank you.
I think it's a load of people shit, though, that you won't untie us.
I have no control over the others. I'm sorry. I've told them. That's all I can say.
Well, I'll be sure and tell the other horses what their people think of them.
I'll just turn to the group and shrug. Let's go.
Kettle Tom looks at you, looks at his horse, and then looks at your horse. And he goes over and he unties his horse. And he leads it over to your horse. And you hear your horse say, well, at least one of you people have good sense. Tell him thank you. And I will tell his horse that he cares about him.
Thank you, Kettle Tom. I appreciate that very much. And so do the horses.
What are you guys talking about?
The horses don't want to be tied up in case something comes along that can hurt them. They're afraid we won't come back.
I'm afraid they won't be here when I come back.
Yeah. I hate to say
Well,
it, but
I've
anywhere we
explained
go in
that to
any
them,
city,
but as
we
I
always
said, I
find
cannot
out.
speak for you. What you do to your horse is your own choice. I won't impose anything upon you.
Just to clarify, when you're talking to the horse, do we hear you talking, or are you using this language, or I mean, what do we hear when you're talking to the horse?
I would imagine that you hear me speaking horse language. Like
Okay, so we don't hear you as a human you speaking English or whatever. Okay.
No, I don't. I
I have no idea
interpret
what you're
that.
saying before.
I would say that it allows me to understand them and them to understand me, and that's it. Because it's only one creature. So.
Well, mine's supposed to be trained not to run away. I mean, it's in fear
On
for its life,
the other hand,
obviously.
you may hear me speak my normal language to the horse, and it says something back, and I understand it, and it understands me. But either way, you would just hear part of the conversation.
Can you talk to my horse?
Yes, I will again call upon Mother Skell to give me the gift of voice to speak to this Winham. What is your horse's name again, Covidius?
Eclipse, unless it doesn't like that.
What is it?
Eclipse.
Eclipse, okay.
That's what I named
would
it,
say-
so I don't know.
I will say, Winham, who was called Eclipse, your master wishes me to ask you can you wish to be untied? What is your wish? What is your name?
My name,
Oh.
my name is Jazum, and
That's great.
I am a warrior. I am a warrior horse, and I know how to fight off attackers, but that is unfettered. However, I am bound to him that has been designated as my commander, and I will follow their orders. And that is the extent of my free will.
What do you say? What do you say? What do you say?
Go ahead.
What do you say?
I was going to tell him that his master asked that he remain here, and then I will turn to you, Covidius, and says he'll stay here, but
Will he stay here if he's untied? Ask him if he'll stay here if I untie him.
He's better able to defend himself if he's untied.
Will he stay here if I untie him?
Yes. And his name is Jazum. Or so he called himself.
I didn't hear you ask him that question. I just asked you and you said yes. How did you know?
I asked him what his name was.
That's not what I'm talking about.
He'll remain here if you leave him untied, and he will remain here. And if he's untied, he can protect himself better. He will do whatever you ask.
Just ask him if he understands me.
If he understands you,
Yes. If I ask him to do something, if I say, stay here, boy, does he understand me?
Jazum, do you understand your master's commands?
I understand the feelings of which side I am to move, front or back. I understand to rear and attack or kick. I understand to speed up and slow down. I understand everything that I am supposed to understand.
Do you understand his language?
Not spoken such as yours.
Okay. I will say Covidius.
Yeah.
He understands the commands that a warhorse would be given, but he cannot understand your spoken language.
Okay, tell him I'm going to leave him untied, but he'll stay here and protect the other horses as best he can and defend the campsite. We will be back later today.
I will tell Jazum exactly that.
And Jazum says, acknowledged,
And I untie him.
and he just moves over by the other horses and stands there.
All right, I'm satisfied.
Reginald, pick.
That is wild. That is some wild, wild stuff.
Can you ask Shadow if you will stay?
Again, I will call upon Mother Skell to give me the wisdom
Okay.
and the...
All right. How many more
Check
times?
out this
How many more times do you want to cast it? That's fine. That Shadow will move over and join the other horses and watch out. Do you do
So I
that?
don't have to cast it again?
Well, you have to cast it again because it's a different
Okay.
animal.
Okay, that's 3 first levels. I just wanted to make sure.
All
Okay,
right.
thank
And
you.
then is Reginald's the only one then that's going to stay tied?
I'll be like, Reginald.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reginald.
Come on, we got to go.
Nice. All right. So Kettle Tom looks at all of you and nods and takes off at a brisk pace.
I follow.
All right. So the marching order is Kettle Tom, and this is a trail. This isn't a road or anything, so it's single file. So Kettle Tom's first. Who would like to be second?
I'll take second.
COVID. Okay. Who would like to take third? Shadrach. Okay. Who would like to take fourth? Reginald, leaving Pick to
Get
follow up.
snatched from the back by the giant.
All right. So you start to walk, and as you walk, you can tell that you're going up in elevation slightly, little by little, not at a 45-degree angle, but slowly. And now I need Pick to roll another D12. Come on, baby. Let's do it.
4.
Okay. So after a couple of hours, maybe an hour and a half, who knows? No one here knows the exact time. You make it to a spot, and Kettle Tom's like, all right, everyone come up here. And as you come up and crest this little hillock, you can see that if you were to keep walking, you would fall off a ledge. But the trees go right up to the ledge, as if the earth was broken and removed with a huge shovel. And as you look down from the cover of the trees, you see a stronghold, as described, a wooden outer bailey, and the fortress itself appears to be probably 200 or 300 feet across all four sides. It's very square with four towers at each corner. The wooden outer wall is not like set up to where people can walk on it. It's a bunch of sharpened trees that are all facing out as if to repel some type of attack.
That's called a, that's like a stockade. Yep.
You also see down inside the walls that there are wooden cages with what appears to be 30 to 60 people milling about in and out of the cages. People,
Oh my God.
elves, a dwarf, some gnolls, all appear to be shackled with their feet where they can walk, but they really can't get a good run going. There's a couple that not only have their feet shackled, but they have their like a ball is chained, so like the traditional ball and chain is on their feet as well, and they're having to carry the ball if they want to move at a normal pace. And then every so often you see what appear to be armed individuals who appear to be keeping watch and occasionally maybe yelling or smacking these other people who, by any and all accounts, are probably slaves being held for either sale or transfer to their next owner. You can't see the front of the stronghold from here, but you can see a partial left side that goes up before it cuts off at the corner and goes to the front. You can also see the ocean. You can see a somewhat sandy beach and what appears to be the edge of a dock that extends out and goes to the left. Currently there are no ships moored from where you can see. And as you would try to look over the top of the stronghold, the ocean, you would assume, would continue on inward, and if there is a ship in there, you can't see it. There appears to be at each tower two more, for lack of a better term, guards with bows and arrows, crossbows. No vats of boiling oil, however, for this wooden place, so that probably wouldn't be a good idea. But there are at each one catapults that fit on the top and can be used to fling things in any direction, because as you're watching, the one in the back left is actually being turned by a artillery crew, and they appear to be turning it for some reason, whether it be practice or maintenance or whatever.
They're not aiming it at us, are they?
No, not at least not yet.
Okay.
And then
How far away are we, Cobb?
You're about
I know.
300 yards.
Okay, I know we're seeing quite a bit. I just want to make sure we're not right up on top.
Right. And then I need those of you with observation, I need you to roll that. But I need to know your total number, not a pass-fail.
31.
31, all right.
.3.
23. Okay. So, pick, as you're watching, your acute sense of determining something that might be out of place or oddly shaped or perhaps hidden. You swear you see some type of deer walking between the trees close to the back of the stronghold. And as you try to get a better look, it disappears behind a tree and keeps going and it is obscured by the cover. And that deer had to be 10 to 12 foot tall. Could that have been the creature that Kettle Tom was referring to?
I don't know, but I will whisper it and point the direction.
As everyone else looks, they don't see anything. It just appears to be forest covering nicely the back and sides of the stronghold, nestled quite nicely into this protected pocket of the ocean.
Say a giant deer you saw?
Say that again, Shadrach.
A giant deer you saw?
Mm-hmm.
There may be many giant things around here. We must be very careful.
Kettle Tom says, well, it's nice to know that I'm not the only one that thought he was crazy. Or, no, that came out wrong. What I mean is, it's nice to know I'm not the only one that thinks they saw something. And he looks at you, Pick. My apologies.
I trust Pick's eye.
No offense taken.
I didn't see it with my roll.
No.
Pick is
It probably has some type of ability which keeps it hidden or reduces somebody's chances of seeing it. So Kettle Tom says, "All right, you wanna come around then over to the other side and look at the dock, or do you want to do something else?" Go ahead, Shadrach.
I'm casting.
Okay.
I reach into my bag, pull out a tuft of fur and a little bit of horn, snip it, and I get really
Take it
big.
easy. Take it easy.
And it lasts for a while, so I'm doing it now. So I'm going to look impressive to these people, okay? Come on.
We're not going down there, man.
But we're doing something. We're right on top of them. I'm going to be at full strength if we're on top of them. Sorry.
Well,
It lasts for a couple of hours. I'll be fine.
good. Watch your step. Watch your step.
I'm not going to jump on anybody. It's okay.
Don't grow horns and shit, man.
It's just my strength. The horns aren't there yet.
Now your guns match mine.
You tired, Sean?
I got 18 strength right now, so.
I'm small.
Okay, you're a little bulkier than me.
Like I said, I think
Reggie, you falling asleep over there? Are you tired?
I'm moving along, man. I'm watching the city.
No, I
The
meant
encampment.
Daryl. Sorry.
I'm fine. Keep on. Roll.
Oh, I'm relaxed, yeah.
All right.
I'm having a 10-hour day.
Yeah, I know it's 8:30 and Sean's
No,
kind of
we're okay.
starting to look rough, so I
Well,
don't feel the
dropped
need to
when I
push
got
it.
here. That's fine. Push it. Only 30 minutes or less.
All right, so he says you want to move around. Then you want me to take you around to the other side, or do you want to go back to
Yeah,
camp?
let's see the whole as much as we can.
All right. So
I hate seeing all those people trapped.
as do I, but you can see how if I was to just charge down there and attempt to do something by myself, it just would have ended me without rescuing them, and I'm not willing to just throw my life away without a chance of success.
No, my first thought is to sneak over the wall and unlock the cages is what my gut is telling me, but that may not be the best approach because I can't unlock all their shackles and start a riot or a mutiny, but that's my first instinct.
Do you think that...
let's see what else...
Well, if they tried to escape, hold on, if they tried to escape, especially if they went into the woods, would that not, I mean, if what I thought I saw, and maybe Pick saw it, that would certainly lead to their deaths. I respectfully think we need to come up with some, Personally, I think we need to attack that. We need to draw that creature out, but if there's a way we could fight him away from the stronghold, or in a way that's silent, I would ask all of us to go and attack that now. I just don't have that capability. That's all. So,
if we were to sneak over the wall and unlock the chains, the people would not be heading into the woods. They would still be trapped within the encampment and hopefully pitch in for an uprising.
Getting inside is not going to be a problem.
Right.
I can, since they're in wooden cage, all this stuff is wood, I have a lot of play here. You don't have to unlock anything. I can just snap the wood and let them out just like that. I can warp wood, and it's not too difficult. I can do it at least a couple times.
There's like 60, 70 cages down there.
The front gate.
There's like
if the front gate's not made of metal, I can warp the front gate.
There's 60, 70 cages down there. Are you going to be able to do that much?
Right.
Not all of them, but they can unlock. They can break free and let others free.
Man,
I'm just saying.
They're not a bunch of muscle-bound individuals.
What do you want me to do?
I mean, look at them. They're civilians. They're peasants. They're in poor shape, underfed, from what I see. They're not going to bust through chains and...
They're fine with us. We didn't bring anybody with us to help these people. It's just us.
Yeah, like I said, it's just my first instinct. Let's see what else we can see, and we'll all come up with a plan.
We're scouting.
Well, here's the thing. When you say that, we need to see what we don't see.
And we're also talking in whispers to each other. We're not talking loud as we sound here.
That's fine.
Okay.
To have that much growth around it, there's more people watching us than you think.
Yeah, I'm going to do my scope fade.
Any keep out there is going to have 500 yards clear, so nobody's sneaking up on them. So they're going to have patrols.
29.
Okay. You just kind of look around and let your senses, but you don't sense anyone.
I don't believe we're currently being watched. I don't sense it.
Do I see any crows around, Cobb? There should be some crows around this place.
Here? Roll me...
Humans and garbage. There should be some crows.
Roll me a charisma check. Let's see how lucky you get.
21.
21? Okay. Yeah, there's a crow that's, you can see it down, you just happen to glance down to like get at the ledge, and you look down, and about 30 foot down on a tree that's growing out of the side, you see a crow sitting there.
I'll turn to the group and say, everybody down and be quiet, just for a second, just for a minute. And I'll call out in crow, since I speak crow, come here, speak to me.
You see the crow kind of cock its head the other way, cock its head, and then it goes, Where?
I'll pull a good berry out of my pocket and say, have a sweet berry and talk to me.
You notice it's looking side to side, because birds don't tend to twist their neck straight back. And then it kind of hops around and keeps looking side to side. Where?
Come to my hand. Come to me.
Where?
On the cliff. Above the trees.
You see it take off and fly. Roll a charisma check, please.
Oh, that's 23.
Okay. And it flies up, and it kind of flies past you, and then lands on a tree about 3 foot down, and looks up and goes, Barry!
Bailey?
Barry!
Barry. I'll hold my hand out and show the berry. Come to me.
Throw it!
I'll drop it on the ground in front of me. I'm just going to toss it out. I won't drop it, like, I'll toss it a few feet.
You toss it off the ledge?
No!
No.
I'll toss it
Okay.
next to me.
It kind of flies up and then lands at a tree that is up as high as you, but it doesn't land next to the berry, and it's like, nuh-uh.
Well,
Person bad.
my-
Person bad.
no,
He talks to birds all day long.
we're good. I need your help.
Call Colam. Call Colam.
Please, have the sweet berry. None of us will hurt you.
Colam, protect. Colam, destroy. People bad. People smell. People shoot birds. Ah! Colam, protect.
I won't.
We're trying not to draw attention.
Well,
You're
you want me to
stupid.
ask the bird anything?
You're stupid.
Ask him about the
Yeah.
giant thing.
You're stupid. Throw berry.
I throw the berry.
Okay, and it flies over there and snags it, and then it's like, very good.
Tell me, where is the great giant creature?
Colam, protect. Colam, destroy.
Where is Colan?
Forest protector.
Well, at least I know its name.
Colam. Smelly humans run. Colam eat.
Colan eats humans.
Yum yum, tasty tasty. Snap crackle bone.
Does Colan inside or outside?
Oh, outside. You're stupid. People stupid.
Yes. People stupid.
People smelly. People shoot birds.
We won't shoot you. You're my friend. Thank you.
Not your friend. Give me berry, maybe friend.
I'll give him another berry. I'll
Oh,
pop him.
oh, no more. Belly hurt. Stupid human, smelly.
All right. Well, I know the name of the guardian. It is called Colan. It is outside of the fortress. We know this, I guess, already, but at least we know its name. I think that might startle it if we call it by name.
Colam? That's interesting. Maybe it's trying to get in, and maybe that's what the fort is trying to keep out.
It called it the Defender. And then it was evil, and then it was people.
The protector of what?
This fortress, I would imagine.
Of the forest or the fortress?
I think it's brought here to protect the fortress as some kind of special protection. I can see why.
Dang it.
The crow has a poor opinion of humans.
It's kind of just
Understandable.
laying there.
Oh, like fat belly.
Yeah.
But we know this creature's name now, and that might give us some slight edge.
Close enough.
Well, holy ass-lot.
20.
Doesn't feel like anybody's watching you.
Well, what do we do now?
We're trying to go this way, and you guys are cawing and cackling down there and making all kinds of ruckus. We're trying to be sneaky and check out the fort.
I need Reginald to roll a d12. A 5. Okay. So, as you guys finish moving around, you can now see from the far left that there's a piece of the cliff that kind of seems to jut out and drop a little bit, like to a lower landing. And it gives you a view of pretty much a lot of the front from this weird angle. And you can see that there's currently only one ship docked, and you recognize it as the same ship. No, you don't recognize it as the same ship. However, you recognize that it has a flag on it.
Oh, what's the flag look like?
Well, it's nothing that you've ever seen before, but COVID recognizes it a little bit as it's got the symbol of his nation.
Looks like it's one of our ships.
And this is way bigger than the shallow bottom boat that you had seen near the Cave of Madness. This is like an actual huge galleon type of ship.
How many rowing the oars?
Nothing, just sails.
Oh,
3 masts.
oh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a seaworthy vessel.
You can also see, it's hard to make out people from this distance, even with your observation or whatever, unless you have a spell. But you can see there are people being loaded onto the ship as we speak. And there are several white-clad, glinty, helmeted individuals lining the docks, apparently making sure that these people get on board.
We can't just stand here and watch this.
We can't just run down there and attack them.
My heart is torn.
It's bigger than us. Maybe once that ship sails, there'll be less soldiers at the fort. Just a thought. I mean, there's obviously soldiers like COVID on that ship.
Yes, you're right. And there's Shad's eyes are teary.
Leaving, goodbye. Berries, good. Smelly humans. Ah. And the bird flaps away. And as you all are standing there trying to decide your next move, a gust of wind blows up, flapping the flag of the ship, and someone raises a flag above the middle building of the stronghold. And it is the flag of the Akariman Nation.
What the hell?
And that is where we're going to stop tonight's episode.
They've established a stronghold.
Looks like it.
Not for long.
Then the crow flies back and goes, Nemesis rules. No, it doesn't. All right, so that is that's it. Thank you for playing, everybody. I hope that you get some good sleep tonight. Looks like Daryl's about ready to drift off into La La Land as we speak. So that's all right.
Good night, fellas.
All right.
Good to see you.
Thank you. We'll see you next Thursday.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Ding, 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 ding. Good night, Internet.